Hey guys and gals, welcome back to Rockford Ordnance and Coffee and Kalashnikovs this Tuesday night, April 4th. Too bad it's not April Fool's Day, huh? Although it seems like we have April Fool's Day every day lately here in Clown World, right? Where everything you thought you knew doesn't make sense anymore and everything you thought would never happen is happening. That pretty much sum it up. I think so. So, enough of that, but hey, welcome back. Boy, you know what? Usually I am in a crazy rush and running around the setup and get ready for you guys. And today was kind of laid back a little bit. Plenty of time on my hands. And that's kind of strange considering just the absolute craziness I went through. Now, I don't drink per se. I mean, it's not that I don't drink. I don't drink much. Let's say can probably count on both hands how many times I have a drink in a year. Just got older, hurts too much. But back in the day, I partook with the best of them, and I like bourbon. I still like bourbon. But I had one of those weeks, 2 weeks, I should say, and today especially, where I came home and my wife just got home, hadn't seen her in 2 weeks. Part of her being gone was part of the reason because, boy, it makes me appreciate her, let me tell you. But throw in all this other crap from work and the news and everything else, and it's no longer coffee and Kalashnikovs. It's Bailey's and Kalashnikovs tonight. But God, I was so much anxiety. I just came in and poured a glass of Bailey's over the rocks and thought, what the hell? Oh, God. Now to finish, that's the only problem with Bailey's. You got to finish the whole damn bottle, just anything. Even then, you might not feel it, but it might mellow you out. And that's all I'm looking for right now. Anyhow. Whew, a lot going on out there in the landscape of our country, should we say. Man, and I gave up watching the news, but you hear a little bit here, a little bit there. But what I found the strangest, when I sit down to watch TV at night, I don't watch TV per se. Once in a while, I'll watch a movie, something like that. Maybe I'll binge something like Yellowstone or something like that. But for the most part, I sit down and I go into my feed on YouTube and I watch YouTube. It could be something I'm interested in. It could be guns. It might be something completely different. Could be Cerakoting, could be investing, economic news, this, that, the other, whatever. But what I find strange is I'm always bouncing around to different subjects, but my feed is still predominantly made up of firearm channels, right? Everything from AK operator, Iran veteran, Misha, Guns and Gadgets, Mr. Guns and Gear, you name it. And for the last week or so, other than a couple from Mr. Guns and Gadgets, I don't get any firearm videos in my feed. I'm subscribed to all these, right? They should show up, and I get notifications. Well, I guess I should check. I think I do. But the videos just aren't there. I have a premium membership, so no commercials, no nothing, right? I go in and they're there and I click and whatever. I'm not seeing them. They're just not showing up. And I thought, well, I've been watching a lot of videos on gold and silver, right? Just with what's going on in the economy. And it's not something recent. I've always followed that. I used to like silver and more collecting almost than like stacking, I guess they call it today. But it's solid, those videos. And then the economy's falling apart. The dollar's going to zero. on and on and on, all about the downturn of the economy, everything. And okay, I watched quite a few silver videos lately, right? But still nowhere near enough to change my feed. I think they're pumping us full of that because it's all over the news, right? Um, Very strange. No 2A stuff really, but a ton of congressional coverage too is being pumped in. All these congressional investigations, those are all over my feed. So if it's not silver or gold or congressional investigations, recordings of maybe live once in a while, but that's all I get. And I'm like, damn, I just want to watch some gun stuff, right? So I search and it's like, holy cow, I'm not finding it. Um, I got to say, it's got to be something that has changed that all of a sudden I'm getting this. And I don't know, it fits in with everything else that goes on, right? Algorithm changes, that kind of thing. And on and on. Anyhow, just something I noticed. I don't know. Maybe you guys have noticed something different. Let me know. I would like to know what you guys are seeing. Anyhow, we dropped the video on the Sam 5, and it's titled, Is It Getting Any Worse? So, with how busy I've been, um, I did not contact the gentleman from Arsenal. I wanted to, and I just wanted to talk to him for a while, not necessarily about the Sam 5, just about things, creator, kind of find out what's going on at Arsenal, some new stuff, anything cool to report to you guys. And I feel kind of bad because he probably expected me to call, and now I didn't. He's probably like, screw that guy. But that's not how it went. We texted or emailed a little bit, so I'm sure he's not upset. But I will talk to him. But I thought to myself, self. I hate that joke when people do it. But I got to looking at the gun closely, and I almost thought when I cleaned it up and looked at it a little bit, like, maybe I'm just being unfair to the gun. And maybe it was brought about because people in the comments said, "Oh, that's an AK, niet rifle fine," that kind of crap. Like all these, I don't know if they are or not. I'm not going to call them out. Maybe they're experts. Maybe they've been messing with the platform longer than I have. And maybe they thought I was a newbie. I don't know how they would think that watching a video of mine, and if they looked anything into my channel, they'd know that I am a fairly seasoned veteran of the platform, right? And there's plenty of reviews of AK pattern rifles where I have done benchtop stuff, torn them down, showed different things, and talked about wear patterns. And I've been guilty in the past of somebody showing something on an AKO. Look at this. Look at it. The paint's gone. And I'd be like, look, dude, it's not an AR. Shoot it. That's what happens. But the metal's moving and just shoot it. That's how it works. Anyhow, I almost thought like, well, I'm being too critical. And part of that stemmed from also a lot of people jumping in and pounding all over Arsenal about this and that. And, oh, I've got this and it's doing that, and mine did that, and mine did that. Other guys, oh, I put a piston in it, and on and on. And I thought, God, these guys really, none of the guns that I know of have ceased to function. Stuff like that has not gotten that bad. So when I had cleaned it up a little bit, or at least wiped it off, I got to look at it. Yeah, that tail's got some marks, but okay. I mean, I was, and this is not to let anyone off the hook, because it should absolutely fire what I'm about to say. But the ammunition I was running was some high-powered 5.56, right? very high powered 5.56, as fast as you can get. And so, okay, maybe that um, had something to do with the extreme ejection. And all AKs, so you guys know, it will bump the back trunnion or back of the receiver once in a while. It happens, whatever. They are overgassed. That's built in. It's part of the design and the engineering. It's partially what helps them be so reliable, right? Because across all these common block countries that manufacture all these rifles, and each one a little bit different. Yeah, I get it. They're all been, for the most part, set up by the Soviets, and their machinery, they're this either sold to them, lent to them, whatever. But each factory is a hair different, even if they're both AKM patterns, let's say, or whatever. But and I'm not talking, well, the big differences like between a Yugo or even a Chinese AK. It's different. It's their take on it. It's quite different, actually. When you look at it. So they're all a little different, and then the ammunition they produce is all different as well. Different velocities, different weights, different this, different that. So they built into the AKU pattern uh, and designed it as a feature almost that they're overgassed, because maybe it's running lower powered ammo from this country, maybe it's that conditions, all that, just to make it extremely reliable. Um, so overgassing is part of it. You will get uh, not all, but most AKs once in a while. The carrier will go all the way back and bonk. And certainly on some pistols, take the Mini Draco, for instance, there's a buffer of sorts built into that pistol by Kuger. It's kind of a weird system, and in a way, it's kind of a band-aid almost, it seems to me, but you need something. There's no piston rod on a Mini Draco. There's just a piston head, and it's so short. The carrier and the head is so short that when it goes, if it went all the way back to the back of the receiver, the head of the piston would clear um, the sight block and the gas tube, and all it would just come right. There could be a chance that when it came forward, it hit and stuck or came out or whatever. So they have to put this buffer slash block in the back, so it can't go all the way back and the piston head clear it. In other words, it stays sort of retained in there. It doesn't come out here and hit. It will only come back to about here, and it'll always go forward. Did you guys get that? Right? All the way forward, like an eighth grader, right? Anyhow, um, so I thought, well, maybe I'm just being too tough on this thing. Let's look at it. And I look, and the left side of the tail of the actual bolt is, you can see where it's hitting, and it has caused it to look like it's oval. And when you look from the side, it looks worse because it's smeared it down a little bit over the side of the bolt. You saw pictures, some stills. I did the best I could with those. One was out of everyone I had was slightly out of focus on the original one before I put the 300 rounds through it. And I got to looking at it, and I'm like, it's not horrible. And the rest of the gun is just fine. Where the paint's wearing on the bolt and the face of the bolt and the front trunnion and all of that stuff. It's just everything's wearing in just fine, perfectly. Couldn't ask for better. It's only that tail. And I thought, okay, well, it's definitely being caused by it being overgassed. And will this proceed? Will it keep going? And I thought, well, what's the difference? Arsenal knows about it. If and it's documented, so if I call them, they're going to say send it in, and they're going to fix it with whatever their fix was that came out. Now, I have not talk to Arsenal or talk to the gentleman that responded. Uh, and I don't know what the actual fix is. Hold on, I know it's out there. I know it's been reported on already. But either way, I figured they're going to fix it. So why not shoot it? See if it progresses. If it doesn't, I'll just shoot the damn thing because I don't feel like the last thing I want to do is send a gun back through the mail and all that crap. It's uh, it's terrible. I don't want to do it. I hate buying guns to begin with because, uh, and please don't look at it as me copping out or folding under the pressure. They've just made it so hard today that yeah, that and I get it. That's their point. But for someone like me that gets delayed every time almost, rarely do I not. It sucks. It's such a pain in the ass because no matter how many times it happens, no matter how many times it always goes through, it's just delayed. But no matter how many times it's happened to me, the minute it happens, I go, oh God, what happened? It worries you. And I get it. That's what they want to happen, right? Hey, if we make it tough and we make them worry and he gets anxiety over it, maybe they'll buy less guns or not buy any at all, right? And I get it, but it's human nature, right? And maybe it's because we enjoy the hobby so much that I get that worried about it. Every time, no, even though I know it's going through, right? I've never done anything that could jeopardize that. Um, so I hate sending it in. So I thought, why not just shoot it? And it was kind of spur of the moment. So I just grabbed a bunch of ammo. I had some steel case and I had some brass, and ran to the range, which is quite a drive now. And didn't even bring a bag, nothing. I had a paper target and went out there and just figured I'll put some down. Originally, I was just going to do some mag dumps, and get it over with, jump in the car and head home and get the video out. But I thought, well, I'm here, let's shoot. And I like shooting the iron sights on it. And the gun's pretty darn accurate. And I was just having fun. So I tried to put every shot on the video so it showed all 300. But at the end of the day, that's extremely boring for you guys to watch if I'm not mag dumping or shooting steel or blowing up watermelons or something. I don't know. So I put them all on there, a bunch of them, and I'm like, this is way too long. So I took a bunch out, and then I said, well, wait, I can speed these up. I sped them up, and you got what you got. I bet it's almost 300, but whatever. I know you guys believe me when I say I put 300 through it. So we put 60 rounds of steel and the rest in brass. And I saw a comment on the video right before I went live. There's a point where I bad trigger control on my part, and it double tapped it. It fired the second shot essentially, and purely by accident. Just poor trigger control. When I'm shooting slow, I will slowly squeeze, take the shot, hold it back, reset the trigger, and take the second shot. Well, I'm pulling very lightly, and that double hook trigger from the factory is very, very smooth, and it just bumped on me. No big deal. But then the next shot after that, so it was boom, boom, and then I reset. The next shot, click. I thought, mag's empty. I pulled the mag out, and there's still a round in there. It didn't feed the next round, or so I thought. One of the viewers put a comment down there, and he says at 7 minutes and 56 seconds in, take a look. You double tap and it ejects the shell, and you see the whole cartridge come out, including the copper bullet, go ejecting forward. And I'm like, And I didn't get it at first. I wasn't thinking about it, and I was kind of surprised. I'm like, he's got to be wrong. No way. I thought maybe uh, somehow, I don't know, just the primer went off. And is he talking about like I had a bullet strike or something there? I didn't know what I was thinking, but I start watching it, and the first shot, no matter how slow or frame by frame I go, I don't get the ejected shell. I can't see it anywhere. It must have been between frames, even though I'm shooting at a high frame rate. I shoot it like, forget what it is, 62 frames a second or something like that. I don't know. The fastest it'll go in 1080. Um, so I didn't see it. It's like when you're trying to catch muzzle flashes on video and the timing of your shots. And maybe you'll see a couple and then you don't see any, even though in reality there were big fireballs. They just got caught in between the frame rate. That sucks when that happens too, when you got just a killer string of big fireballs you're trying to get on video, and just the timing of your shooting, it falls in between. You're like, oh my God, what happened to the fireballs? Anyhow, so I didn't see the first shell eject. And then you see a shell eject forward, and then another one fly by. So it's like, God, at first I'm like, is that both of the fired shots from the double tap? Is that boom, boom, that fast? But they're like right with each other. And I didn't even catch the first one at first. It's just the one he was talking about with the brass. It kind of went up and you could see the copper. You could see the bullet. The bullet was in it. Then it dawned on me. When the second round fired, the carrier started to strip that next round to push it in the chamber, and somehow it just went ding and flew out. Or maybe it just sprung out of the mag somehow because of that double tap. I don't know. But yeah, it either tried to strip it and it cleared the mag and went fling up in the air, or because it double tapped it, it worked forward a little. I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely what happened. So should that happen? No, I don't know why it did. So that was kind of strange. Anyhow, even after the 300 rounds, I'm looking at it and I'm like, is it worse or isn't it? And at the end of the day, the right side of that tail of the bolt is not any worse, I don't think. But it was not bad to begin with. It's just not making contact on that side for whatever reason. But it is making contact on that left. And do I think it got a little bit worse? Yeah, a little bit, tiny bit, not a lot. At first I thought, no, I don't think it got any worse. And then I started looking from the side. Yeah, I guess it did a little. Do I think it's going to continue to progress? And do I think it's going to affect anything? I don't think it's going to continue to progress further than where it is right now. Maybe a hair, but I don't think it's going to continue to the point of jamming the firing pin or something like that. Who knows? 3,000 rounds? Maybe. I don't know. It was not ejecting this ammo as far as it once was. That first couple range trips, I did, I don't know, a couple mags the first time out, a few mags the second time out. Gun had between 100 and 200 rounds probably until that 300. Yeah, maybe it could get worse. Should it go in? I'd love to say I don't want to send it, but I think I should, because being that overgassed, I think I'm paying the price in felt recoil and recovering from the recoil. I should be able to shoot the gun faster, I think. Not that it's a 7.62 recoil by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it should be substantially less. That being said, I'm going to shoot it some more still. Um, I just want to see what it does. And either way, I think they'll replace the bolt or in the when I send it in. I did hear that the fix was putting a ring in. I just heard about a ring. I don't know where they're putting it. Um, Gotta think about that for a second. Yeah, and I don't recall if they apparently the barrels are just over the gas hole's too big. So where would they put a ring? I guess inside the gas block. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows. Um, Somewhere in the gas block. I don't think they could put it in the port in the barrel exactly. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it would have to go in the port in the gas tube or something. I don't know. Eh, We'll see what comes of it. Else and see what's going on over there. I guess there was a thread, and it, as usual, got out of hand. I'm sure. And they said Arsenal threatened to sue us, and um, the thread got shut down and whatever. I don't know. Somehow, I kind of doubt that happened. Um, I don't know. I've been on the AK files for a long time, and I've seen crazy stuff over there. And when people are upset and you get the mob mentality, it can get out of hand. And everybody's got a story. But I don't know. Didn't even go read it. I haven't been over there in a long time. I used to be on there morning, noon, and night. I just haven't been over there in a long time. Not because there's anything wrong with it. I enjoy it, but just haven't had the time. Anywho, that is the story on the Sam 5. Really like it and enjoying it. And I hope you guys are enjoying watching what happens. I don't know. Somebody said they'd really like to see what the customer service was like. And like I said, I'm sorry, I just haven't done it yet. I want to see if somehow it just works out okay. There was a gentleman that chimed in and talked about sending his in. And while he said they did have it for quite a while, that everything's great. They did a great job, got it back to him. It's hunky dory, and he's happy. So, that being said, um, there's one report on one gun from Arsenal. Excuse me for 1 second. I don't want to sit here just talk. Oh, I still have this whole sinus infection thing, so I should finish my antibiotics once in my life, huh? Anyhow, yeah, so that's the story on the Sam 5 for now. Um, it's cool to see that they're doing something about it. Hopefully, they do it quickly. That one report said it did take them quite a while, but he may have sent it in before they had the fix set or the decision made as to how things were going to be handled. I'm guessing. Who knows? Maybe not. But when he said it, they had it for a couple months. Sure sounds like it was, before they had made a decision. Maybe his was one of the first ones to get sent back in. So, uh, yeah, we'll see how the rest of them go. And maybe I'll run over to AK Files this week and see what's going on, what people are saying, that kind of thing. So, anyhow, some decent news, some bad news on the 2A front. Um, we had a federal judge deny a restraining order on, but supposedly he gave some, in his reply, gave some tips of why he didn't. And maybe those tips were meant to say, hey, go do this and it'll go on the appeal or whatever. In the meantime, we're running out of time fast, right? And some of the other ones, I think there was a crazy ruling on an assault weapon ban, the Delaware one, I believe it was, where I don't know how this judge came up with what he came up with, but obviously um, not one of the judges that thinks he should pay attention to a Bruin ruling from the Supreme Court. That still seems to be an issue. Somehow that ruling isn't taken to heart like other Supreme Court rulings. They just think they can bypass it. Other states, sorry, I haven't heard much about what's going on in Michigan or Illinois for that matter. I don't know if Illinois had any suits come up, any wins, losses, draws, whatever. I don't know, but you guys are probably getting short on time too. So hopefully something starts moving on these things. We'll see. Let's go into the chat here and see who showed up. I hope you guys got a notification tonight because I got it in early, actually. You guys should have had about an hour and a half warning somewhere in there. Should have got a notification about 6:30 Central Time. I actually got it out there early. And we're supposed to have some bad storms headed south here. I don't know if they're going to make it this far north, but I heard there were some coming through later. I don't know. I doubt they'll make it up this far, but we still got snow and it's crazy. It's like it's never going to end. Winter is never going to end. Oh, well, could be worse, I guess, right? Could be 95 and humid. I don't know. Let's see. Joe, hail to the king of Kalashnikovs. Come on. Far from it. Let's see. Hey, Rock, did you get to vote for a state Supreme Court seat today? No, I did not. I had meetings and craziness. Hopefully it's all calming down now. Chase Kelly is in here. MZ Ross 77. Good to have all of you. AK Old School. Hey Rock. Hey everyone. I finally got a Tuesday evening off work. Yes, that is good. Tuesday nights are nice, right? It breaks up the week. A lot of you guys get over to 28EDU's channel lately. I have not had the ability to get over there in quite some time. I feel batty, like I'm abandoning him or something. But he probably doesn't even notice I'm not there. I just Fridays just have been tough. Dale, Jason, I finally got a Tuesday night off to listen and catch you on the big screen. I'm usually driving and can't chat. Have you considered the Cerakote job in exchange for the AK break-in video? Well, yes. What do you need? 604. We're done. That's 604. Yeah, good. All right. Sorry about that. What else? Okay. I was going to say something until I was interrupted, but that was really good news. I'm processing it right now. The Cerakote job. So I wanted to answer you on the comment. I saw the comment and I didn't comment on purpose. I wanted to address it in here. So the problem with that is in order for the firearm to be left with me, I would need an FFL. And I don't have an FFL, not even a gunsmithing FFL. this channel, and a lot of you guys are like, "Ah, I've heard this before. I don't want to hear it. Do it already." Um, the whole intent of this channel. Uh, First, it was fun. I see if I could do anything with it, but I always had it in the back of my mind, and it progressed a lot quicker once I started the channel. Was I want to have an FFL. I want to have a brick and mortar FFL. Um, it was about working out where and when and how and sort of planning it, because I have owned businesses, and I've opened them, I've closed them, I've done everything. I've had pretty good luck, but sometimes it's very, very tough, right? Especially at the beginning when you have bills you need to pay yourself to keep it on, right? And be bleeding money everywhere when you start a business. So I thought, hey, and my wife had said, that's a big change. You can't make any money selling guns. You ain't gonna make anything. You'll be lucky to make 30 grand a year or something like that. And I thought, well, okay, if I'm gonna do this, because she really can't stand my gun hobby. She hates it. She's um, more on board now just because of things that I've done and followed her advice in a way. And that was to, why don't we use this channel to build a following? You get all these subscribers and people watching. Um, what's the difference between that and them being customers, right? Obviously, they watch your videos, they like you, they trust you, whatever. Maybe I'm entertaining, or I doubt it, or funny, I doubt it. Funny looking, maybe. But, you build sort of a base. And then her thought was to open an online business of uh, non serialized parts, accessories type of thing. Similar to, well, a lot of channels have done it. I guess the best example with parts and accessories might be Rob Ski. Um, he did some stuff with Primary Arms and a few other key pieces, and he has that audience, and he specializes in. Frankly, I don't know if he makes a lot of money at it. I doubt it, but you're building a customer base, right? And you're building trust, and your shipping's fast. And by the way, if you are ever looking for anything that Rob sells, from his optics, which are mostly Primary Arms, to he's got muzzle brakes, he's got all kinds of stuff. If you go to his store, I will tell you this: the shipping is lightning. Back 6, 7, 8 years ago, I bought a lot of stuff from him. A lot of the optics you see, my primary arm stuff, I bet there's 3 or 4 came from him. There were times when he would have RS Regulate mounts when others didn't. Um, I found BD2 brakes because of Robski. But if you guys haven't seen my videos on that, it's a long time ago. But if you're looking for a good brake for your AK platform, Meridian Defense BD2 muzzle brake, they are inexpensive and they work. They really work. Um, my NPAP videos, I've got them on there. I've got them on a bunch of rifles, and they work extremely well. And back then they were like $56 or something like that. I'm sure they're higher now. But he had all kinds of stuff. I even my Krebs gun that I sort of kind of made it look like an alpha clone. It's all Zenitgoed out and all Zenitgo bling from head to tail. Um, I bought most of that stuff on the secondary market. A lot came off AK files, stuff like that. And my handguards on that, the quad rail Zenitgo handguards, are actually AK Operators Union Zenitgo handguards. Rob used to sell Zenitgo back in the day, and he had his logo custom lasered on him. And there's a set on that Krebs gun. Didn't know it when I bought it. I don't even think the guy disclosed it. I got it and I was like, huh, that's kind of weird, but who cares? I thought it was kind of cool at the time. Um, Maybe it'll be worth money one day, huh? Is Rob Ski that famous? I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, I got a set and I bought just a ton of stuff off of there. Um, oh God, I don't know. I'm trying to think what else I bought. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Anyhow, his shipping was always wonderful, fast. I think his wife handles the shipping, and it was great. So that was kind of the idea. Do that. And then when the kids were done and out of the house, I did not want to open an FFL in Illinois. Just did not. So the plan was to wait till we moved full time there, and then we would make the move. And the move would be uh, based off of an area that had extremely, you had to travel a long way to get to a gun shop, right? And I had an area that didn't have anything. It had two that went out of business. One guy died, and the kids had an auction and got rid of everything. The other guy was actually a friend and ended up retiring. Yeah, for a long time, it had been just diminishing. He might have had 6 or 8 hunting rifles and shotguns in the rack, and it was a place to go every day and hang his hat. Maybe get out of the house, away from the wife a little bit, and go talk to his buddies. You know, you could walk in there any day, anytime, and he'd be behind the counter, and there'd typically be 1 or 2 guys there sitting on stools, drinking coffee, shooting the bull. And you'd walk in and join in. You know, once in a while he had something neat, and I bought a few things over the years from him. Nothing really tactical or out of the ordinary, but always great deals. Glocks from him. I bought a Glock 17 brand new in the box for $460. Um, I bought a 10 millimeter Glock. Uh, I'm trying to think if that's a long barrel or not, but I bought that one for under 500 too. I can't buy a Glock from him for over $500. That's a pretty good deal. It's the blue line deal basically. He gives me that pricing. Not that I retired from the police force or anything. I left early. I only had a couple of years in, but my father's retired, and my dad was one of the guys that would be sitting there shooting a bull with them. So he'd always give it to me. But oh God, I got that. I bought a Savage 410-22 over and under. That's a cool little gun. Great little gun to keep beside you while you're working up here up north. You know, you never know when a chipmunk that's chewing up my deck pops his head out, or maybe I got to take a shot at a red squirrel and the neighbor's house is back away, so I'll use the shotgun side of it. So, you know, you don't want to be shooting a 22 up in a tree, you know, and miss, and God knows where it's going. So it's a nice little pest gun. Nice little gun to go squirrel hunting or rabbit hunting or whatever back in the woods. It's kind of a mailbox gun. So you go up to get the mail, and you never know what you're going to run into. Going to the mailbox, I've run into bears. I've run into badgers. I've run into, well, I don't know if it was a bobcat or possibly a cougar, but lots of stuff. Deer all the time. Some that scare the hell out of you because you get within, I'm not kidding you, that arm's reach, and there's a buck standing there. One snorted so loud I could feel his he blew boogers on me, basically. um, you never know what you're going to encounter. So it's a fun little gun to carry with you when you're going up there. It's light. I should do a video on it. It's kind of neat. Um, what else have I gotten there? Oh, a Ruger um, SR-22. Neat little gun. Actually got that for my dad for a birthday present. Um, Saw it. He loves 22s, grabbed it. And I think that's the last firearm my dad's gotten in a long time. Oh, no, there were a couple after that. But that's sitting over here somewhere. Um, anyhow, just a cool place. And he had shut down. Finally ran into problems with a neighbor and uh, ended up getting out. And I had even thought about taking that place over. I would not have bought the business because although it was known it had been there forever, it really didn't have a customer base. There was nothing to buy, so to speak. Name it something else and maybe lease the property from him, but the timing wasn't right. So now that we are full time in Wisconsin, and up until now, almost all the ties have been cut. Everything's moving along pretty good, except one thing, and that was to sell the house down there. We had been up here for quite a while, but my kids were still there because of one going to school and friends and this and that. So she was living there, but uh, that interruption I had there, the house just sold. So that's good news. Boom, done. That being said, maybe now it's time to get the FFL going. So that's a really long answer to your question about Cerakoting your rifle. While I would love to do it for you and love to do a video on it, I can't because it's not legal. I cannot take possession of your rifle, meaning you're leaving it with me, and I'm going to disassemble it and Cerakote it and put it back together and call you and say, hey, it's done. Come get it. Can't do that without an FFL. It's essentially a transfer while I'm working on it. That's how gunsmithing works. I don't know if there's, I hesitate to call it a workaround, right? Because you don't want to be working around rules. But I thought about that several times because I thought, well, we could be doing all this stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to risk anything like that. So I didn't, but I can't say that I didn't put some thought into it. I thought, well, what if this person showed up and stayed there with the firearm until the job was done, whatever that may be. In this case, we're talking about Cerakoting. I don't know if that would be legal or not. I never, I guess, talked to the ATF directly or anything like that. I don't even know if I asked someone like Krebs whether that would be legal or not. Kind of assume it would be. I mean, if a buddy had a gun and it was malfunctioning or not working, and maybe you knew a little bit more about them, and he says, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And you stop by his house or something, or he stopped by you and you tweak something or unjam something or what, I don't know, whatever. Is that considered Is it against the law essentially? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe gunsmithing. I would be willing to bet if you were charging something for it, that it probably would be against the law. Again, I don't know for sure. I haven't gone that in depth into it, but I never, certainly was never going to risk it. Um, you know, yeah, sure, it'd be fun, all that good stuff. Or let's say you were doing it for money, that'd be great too. But for what? What are you going to profit on a Cerakote job? Next to nothing. Um, I bet you're lucky to make 25 or 50 bucks Cerakoting a rifle. I don't know. Um, I haven't done it for money before. I've done it, but I haven't done it for money. Um, I've only done it on my stuff, my dad's stuff, that kind of thing. But by the time you're done, the equipment to get into it to do it right is a lot of money. Sure, there's tons of videos. Oh, do it at home cheap. It's going to look like you did it at home cheap. Maybe even get a really good job out of it. I don't know, but it's not the perfection that it needs to be when you are doing it as a service, as for doing it for a living. Needs to be perfect. Um, and there's a big difference in perfect and wow, that came out pretty good, and mama didn't even know I used her oven. Or you do the air cure stuff, um, uh, is it going to last? Is it going to bubble up? Is it going to come off? Is the adhesion good? All that stuff's got to be perfect, because for every beautiful, perfect job you do, and build up a name and a reputation, it only takes one. That one bad one will travel like wildfire, and you may have 200 or 300 under your belt that are perfect and the people love them. Get one bad one out there and see what that does to it online and everything else. Not good. So it's got to be perfect, and you need the right equipment. Um, I haven't skimped a bit other than on the oven, and even there, I don't think I'm skimping. I'm skimping in the fact that it will slow production because it's small, that type of thing. But the way I did that oven, if you watched my video on it, I researched it. The heat is more than fine. I can hold a constant, consistent temperature without varying, which most people that convert something into an oven, some other product that's for a totally different um, endeavor, and when they start converting stuff or building stuff that came out of their garage workshop, it tends to be uh, not up to par, or at best getting by. And this is perfection, um, down to the sandblaster, which I haven't not brought you a video yet on it, but um, back, oh, I don't know, 50, 20 years ago, maybe longer than that, I had pretty high-end sandblaster, and it was a lot of money. I had gotten it from a friend, secondhand. It was hardly used, and it cost him, I think, over 6 grand at the time. Wasn't going to do that. I bought the Harbor Freight thing. I put it together, did a lot of research on that, and found that, hey, a cabinet's a cabinet, right? It's the air system and the guns and the way the media is picked up that make the cabinet good, and then how usable it is comes from how well can you see. So the Harbor Freight cabinet leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, a lot. Um, for whatever it is, I think they're probably more now, but a coupon, a 25% Harbor Freight coupon, and a few other things, a sale, you can get it for, I think, at the end of the day, I don't think I paid more than 125 bucks for it. I think it's normally like 150, 175. And essentially what you're paying for, I mean, you can buy it, put it together, use it out of the package, out of the box, but it's a siphon feed. The gun's kind of crappy. Um, there's no pressure regulation. There's really no dust collection system. The lighting in it is so bad that you start sandblasting, and I'm not kidding you, 5 seconds into the job, you can't see a thing. Um, it plugs up, it creates voids in the media, and it doesn't suck, and it's just terrible. But the cabinet itself and all that, it's no different than an Eastwood, which is only that much of a step up, all the way up to some of the bigger cabinets. Yeah, some will be bigger, some will be able to open on both sides or the top, and maybe you can get some bigger things in it. But for what we need for firearms, it will do. And I always kind of measure everything with my Cerakoting by a barreled action of an AK. If I can get that in there, I'm golden. Or even an RPK, I can get that in there. Could I get like a 24-inch bolt gun in there or something like that? Yeah, in the sandblaster, yeah, I can. In the oven, it might be cutting it close, but that's not my forte. And how many bolt guns am I going to do? Anyhow, um, or he used it his work endeavors, and he sort of started making stuff to upgrade the Harbor Freight blast cabinet. And it all works so good, he started making a bunch of them and packaging them as upgrade kits. And then on top of the upgrade kits, he sells other individual things to just make it better and better and better. And you could really get by with just getting the upgrade kit and be done. And what's included in that is a new gun, and it's not a trigger gun. It is a Y-shaped gun that you just hold. The air is controlled by a foot pedal, and you say, "Well, big deal. The trigger's good enough." Yeah, get even 10 or 15 minutes in the sandblasting, and see how comfortable you are. Your arm starts cramping, everything else starts cramping. The cabinet sits too low to begin with, so your arm, depending on how tall you are, I guess, but you're hunched over because it's too low, and the gun's plugging up, and the regular gun with the trigger, your hand gets so tired and cramped, you got to take breaks and whatever. Anyhow, comes with the new gun, with their tips and all the hose to supply air and supply media, the foot pedal, a pressure regulator, and the grommets to relocate where the hoses come in and all. And the biggest thing of all is the converting it from a siphon feed to a gravity feed. So there's a hopper below that holds the media, and it's as simple as drilling a hole in the bottom of the cover, the flap that you can open to dump the media out to change it. You drill a hole with a step bit in the bottom and screw in this valve. Essentially, it's an L-shaped piece that you can change the air venturi, um, and essentially change how much media you're picking up and the airflow and whatnot. It doesn't plug because, and you don't worry about voids because the sand is going into it through gravity, and then the Venturi effect picks it up and tosses it through the gun. So it's night and day difference, and you operate with. I can run it on, I'll bet, about a cup of media, as opposed to, well, Harbor Freight advertises it as a 40-pound cabinet. By 40 pounds, they mean you're going to be running 40 pounds worth of media in there. Think about that, 40 pounds versus one cup. Now, think Cerakote. You put something in there and it was not degreased good enough, and all of a sudden you end up with your media contaminated, 40 pounds of it contaminated. You're going to get some stuff after a while, because when you're blasting the gun, sure, maybe you degreased it, but you are not at the point where you're soaking it in acetone and heating the gun to leach the oil out and all. This is you've disassembled it, cleaned it pretty good, tossed it in there, and you're blasting it. So it's going to get contaminated with oil. If it does, um, forget it. Your Cerakote's going to come out like crap. Even after I guess you could soak it long enough and preheat it and get all the oil out and all, but you don't want to be blasting with contaminated media. So I'd much rather replace 1 cup than 40 pounds. Matter of fact, I even got from Tacoma their abrasive, and he's great over there. He recommended, Cerakote recommends 100 grit aluminum oxide. Yep, it does the job. The other thing, follow exactly to a T what Cerakote recommends, with this one exception. And you can use the 100 grit aluminum oxide. The only thing is, at times it can get a bit too aggressive. So we go with a red garnet 100/120 grit, and it works great. And that came from his recommendation there. I bought 25 pounds of it. That'll last a long, long time. So that was the upgrade kit: the gun, the venturi, the regulator, all that good stuff. Then you can upgrade with their lighting kit. You can upgrade essentially a dust collection system, and you can even upgrade the dust collection. So we'll bring it all to you, but I've got a dust deputy with a shop vac, and it's all plumbed in. I can adjust the vacuum pressure. There's even a gauge to tell me what the negative vacuum is in there. So if I'm running the big vac, I'm not getting too much suction, and all the media is staying where it should be and or getting collected in the dust deputy to be reused. I can see absolutely perfect. He even makes baffles to move the air intake port further down, so you're getting a cross draft effect. There's metal plates he makes and bends for the door so media doesn't accumulate. I got everything. Everything he makes is on this cabinet. The door stuff is in already. The media is here. He is waiting on a part for the upgrade kit, and he's waiting on his supplier. He said 2 weeks ago when I placed the order that it would be a couple of weeks. Well, I think today is 2 weeks, and I have everything but the upgrade kit. I'm sure it'll be coming pretty soon. I'll get a shipping order that it's sent, but I can't wait because it's the last link and we're rolling. And I think I told you guys my first project or video was going to be redoing my wasser. So back in the day, and I know I mentioned this in another stream, but I wanted to go over it again just because I'm excited about it. It's coming to fruition. So the wasser, we did a appliance epoxy finish on that. And while I've done a ton of those and they come out fabulous, absolutely fabulous for what it is and what it costs, this one, while experimenting, came out super, super, super high gloss. It's like liquid black oil. I should call it diesel black. You guys know what diesel oil looks like when it comes out of a diesel engine? This is it. It looks like I coated it. You ever seen the glass that's made from like a volcano or obsidian? It looks like the gun is coated in obsidian, liquid obsidian. While stunning in certain ways, it makes the gun look like a toy. It really does. It looks fake and cheap. And I'm actually the thing I'm most excited to film is how hard it is to take this finish off with even the sandblaster. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this stuff is going to be a bear to get off of there. The stuff is like iron. When they say appliance epoxy, it's not a true two-part epoxy. It's actually an enamel. I guess it's sort of an epoxy, but um, it is tough, and I mean tough. So, an AK safety always leaves the scratch. I have played with that safety for hours watching TV. Just got the gun there. Bah, 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 bah. It's unloaded. I'm just playing. I'm sure you guys play with some of your collection sometimes, just looking at it, polishing, oiling, whatever. Sitting watching TV and click, 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 click drives my wife nuts. Will you stop clicking? She can hear it. If I click a safety right now and she's two floors away from me and four rooms over, she will yell down here, "Stop clicking!" Super hearing when it comes to that. Unbelievable. It's just one of those things, a pet peeve, annoys her. To her, it's like nails on a chalkboard, but I find it hilarious. It's always fun to bug them a little bit. Got to keep them on their toes. But yeah, it has not even started to develop a scratch yet. It's unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. If you follow my procedure, that's on AK Files. If you look, you can find it. Um, so I'm going to be very interested to see how it holds up to sandblasting. I'm sure it's going to come off. I just think it's going to be pretty darn tough. So, um, yeah. I've told the story before why and how that thing came out so shiny. So I'm not going to go into it again. But that's going to be the first project, and we're going to do it a very simple, elegant black. While the gun's apart, I may show you how to straighten sight block. I can't remember sight block. Maybe the gas. Maybe the gas block's off on that. I actually think the receiver's tweaked. I think they tweaked the receiver while they were riveting it. It's almost twisted. Gun runs just fine, but if you're OCD, you look at that thing, it drives me absolutely bonkers. But the gun works magnificently. So if I do decide to straighten things out, maybe I'll show you guys drilling out the pins, putting oversized pins in, moving it, that kind of thing. It's funny. Sometimes you get into a gun like that and you try to straighten stuff, and because of sometimes a compounding effect from two different issues, you get it perfectly straight and everything's kitty wampus, yeah, but sometimes maybe things don't even work right when you put it all straight because things were drilled for it being all whatever. And this one's one of those guns, I think. I got a feeling if I start messing with it, I'll have to start replacing some parts because that receiver tweaked. The sight block is off. The rear sight block is off to one side. The front sight block's off the other way. I think the gas block is off. It's multiple things, and who knows? Maybe if I straighten it all out, it'll be fine. But at the end of the day, I think that receiver is a bit twisted. So I'll take a closer look when it's all blasted down. I'm going to try to blast it down and leave the Parkerizing because that's the best finish to go over. It holds Cerakote like crazy. But either way, if we get into some of that, I doubt we will because that's pretty. It's not really a thin coat, so I'm sure if I'm careful enough, it'll still be there. And we'll get it painted a nice semi-luster, elegant black with that deep reddish orange furniture on it. It's got a dong on it right now. But when I did the furniture on that, I did a multiple set kind of. I did the factory military laminate stock. It has a really nice original Romanian Bakelite grip, which just has a super unique heavy fleck, even some string pattern in it. And then it had originally a palm swell, a Romanian palm swell handguard, which, if you guys know, Romanian palm swell handguards are not super rare, but rare. A lot of people think they have a Romanian palm swell handguard, and what they actually have is the remnants of a dong handguard that was castrated by Century because nobody wanted dongs. Couldn't sell a dong, a gun. You could not sell an AK with a dong to save your life 17 years ago, 15 years ago. Nobody wanted them. So Century was hacking them all off and then taking a sander and sanding them down. And the remnants, once in a while, depending how they did it, sort of kind of look like a palm swell handguard, but they're not. They're the sanded down remains of what was once a dong. And today, I know there's a lot of young guys in here going, "Oh my God, no, they didn't. Really? They cut the dongs off?" Yeah, by the thousands they cut them off, because they weren't back then to comply with 922R. You were not putting on American wood or polymer. They were using the factory military wood and cutting the dong off and getting to the 922R in other ways. But yeah, so I've got the factory military laminated stock, a beautiful Bakelite grip, the palm swell handguard, all done to match in. It's just gorgeous. It came out really, really nice. Just a custom stained mix that I put together for this and a buddy of mine's. And then at the same time, I had gotten a very worn dong in between swelling it with steam, got a bunch of the dents out and stuff, and left some of the original battle worn look, although did our shellac finish where we build it up so it leaves the marks, the history sort of feel of it, but it's all coated completely smooth and like glass, and this color, it's just gorgeous. So I did the dong and the palm swell, and I switch them out from time to time, whatever I'm feeling. Sometimes I get bored, I'll put the dong on. I'm like, God, that thing looks so good. And then other times I'm like, yeah, sick of that. We'll put the palm swell on, and they're both stained and done in the same batch, so they match perfectly. And I did my buddy Jake's the same way. He got rid of that gun, unfortunately. But that was a nice gun. He got it through a friend of mine, and who was getting out of the hobby due to medical problems, and said, "Hey, could you use a wasser?" And I can always use another wasser, but wanted my buddy Jake to get into it, so he gave him a nice deal on it, and he had not really shot the gun. So when we took it out, some of you guys may have heard this story, but I'll tell it because there's a lot of new people in here. If you guys are new here, you'll hear just a lot of stories. I think some people like this chat because when we talk about guns, a lot of it's just stories, like you're sitting having a beer with your buddies. That's how Koffee and Kalashnikovs started. It's just hanging out with your friends in the chat and just talking like you would maybe at the gun club or at the range or something after you're done shooting. Anyhow, So we got this gun. The original guy had not fired it much. Uh, Took it over to Jake's farm, and we were shooting. I don't know. Maybe we did. Maybe we were shooting about 100 yards, and he's like, "I'm not hitting that thing," and I'm like, "What do you mean you're not hitting?" He goes, "It's not on paper." I said, "Well, put it on the bag." He puts it on the bag. A few shots, nothing. Clean misses. And we're not seeing where they're going. We're like, where the hell are these things going? Can't even see them hitting the dirt or the sand or anything. I'm like, let's get closer. We go into 50 yards. Boom, 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 boom. Nothing. Can't see where they're going. I can't see them hitting. I'm like, something's way out or way off. We get up to like 10 feet from the target, and the gun at 10 feet is shooting, I'm not kidding you, like 9 feet left. Like, what? What the hell is going on? I said, come on, do that again. But I'm like, oh my God. I said, stop, 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 stop. This something's way wrong. This could be dangerous. I said, so we unload the gun and I start looking, and it had a conical crink style brake on it. Okay. So, the long part of it is about that long, and then that little cone that comes out. So I'm looking at it and everything's fine. I'm thinking, God, are the sights that candid and everything? And at first we found that the barrel for the front sight that you use a sight pusher to push over, the pin goes into it. That barrel was loose. And I thought, that's got to be it. No problem. So I took it out. We knurled it. If you guys don't know what knurling is, uh, there's tools made to do it. You do it when they used to do it. It's not a good way to do it, but they used to, when rebuilding engines, if the diameter of a piston was too small for the cylinder, out of spec by, we're talking thousands here, not major amounts, you would knurl a piston. So a knurling tool cuts these little chinks along it in a line, and you do them on angles kind of, and it's this row. It looks like somebody took a chisel and went all the way around it, all these little peck marks. And what it does is when it digs into the metal, it has to displace the metal where it's digging in. So it next to the little nick, it displaces a little piece of metal up, thereby increasing the diameter of the piston by just those tiny little amounts of displaced metal from the knurling. It's like a wheel that goes around and pushes in the metal, displaces it. So you get maybe a couple thousandths or whatever out of the piston grows essentially from that. Does it work? Yeah, but think about it. Instead of the piston riding on the full wall of the piston, it's only riding on those little tips that are sticking out, right? Not a good solution any way around, but they used to do it back in the day to get by. Back, probably long before, but I'm going to say 40s, 50s, 60s. And I'm sure they were doing it long before that. But back in the day when, certainly not on a motor that was going to be stressed and stuff like that. But maybe it got somebody another 10,000 miles or 5,000 miles out of their engine. This is back when engines were done at 100,000 miles, right? Now engines go 300,000 without blinking an eye. Back then, you'd had to change your oil every 3,000 miles, and 60,000. Man, you're getting up there. You were doing heads, valve jobs, rings, everything by then. Not like today. You guys don't. Maybe that's why kids aren't into cars today, because they don't have to do anything to them other than put gas in them and maybe change the oil. But back then, just to start your car on a cold morning was a project sometimes. Right, guys? Some of you guys that in my age group, these guys don't even know what a choke is, some of them. And yeah, you had to know how to play with your gas pedals, set the choke, how many times to pump it, or maybe pump it twice and leave it a quarter of the way down, turn the key, crank it for 3 seconds, stop, hit the gas twice, crank it, and it would start. And then you'd have to still mess with the pedal to keep it running because, of course, your choke wasn't set right or was not working, et cetera, et cetera. Different things. It was a whole different world. Um, some of you younger guys, did you know that the button or switch for your bright lights was on the floor of the car? I bet a lot of guys have never driven a car that had the bright button on the floor. Yep, there was just a round, looked like a round peg coming out of the floor about that big around, about that big, and that's how you clicked your brights on and off with your left foot. Yep, I bet you never saw that. My kid saw a car with crank windows once and went, "What's that, Dad?" That's how you roll the window down. What? Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, I digress. So my fix for that barrel was to knurl it. And when I say knurl it, we just took a punch and I put a line of punch marks around it, thereby raising the metal a little bit. And then when we pushed the barrel into the front sight block, it was nice and tight in there. That's a quick fix for those if you guys ever have one that's a bit loose. You don't come across it very often, but I've seen it, I don't know, a handful of times. And that's a quick fix, is to knurl it. Just take a hammer and a punch and boom, turn it a little, boom, turn a little, boom. Do it on both ends that are going to be inside the diameter of that sight block. And it makes the metal that much bigger and tightens it up. Works real well. So quick, free fix, just a little labor, and you're all good to go. So anyhow, we get the sight block or the sight barrel and pin stabilized and get her lined up and all that good stuff. And he takes a few shots and zingo, there's 9 feet left. What the hell? That muzzle brake came on it from Century, believe it or not. I'm sure I had seen one in Shotgun News back in the day or something, but like I've said in other videos, back in the day, Century sold a million versions of the same guns. You could get the Dong, you could get the RPK look-alike it looked like an RPK, but it was super thin pencil barrel. You could get all these crazy versions that they put out, right? Trying to sell as many of these things as they could to as many people with different tastes as they could find. So this must have been one Century put out that had this conical crank brake on it because it was tack welded from Century, and they did that to get around the laws at the time. So I'm looking at this thing and I really don't think twice about it because it's tacked on there. The gun is not a brand new gun. I'm thinking, what the hell? Well, I come to find out why they probably sold it. I'm looking and I get a flashlight and I see this channel. I'm like, oh my God. So I grind the weld off. We get the brake off. And now from the backside, I can light it and see we're getting bullet strikes off this thing. I know half of you probably knew what I was going to say already because I've been taking so long to say it. But bullets were hitting it. And you could see, the bullets coming out of the rifling. It's spinning, right? So it would strike that muzzle brake, and the line it left in the steel of the muzzle brake was curved due to the spinning. It rode the side of it and would come out like a funnel almost, or a whirlpool. Like it would hit, turn, and fling it sideways, and it would bore a channel. I'm not kidding you, between an eighth and a quarter inch deep in there. Very lucky that whoever owned that gun originally and shot all those shots in there to put that channel in there didn't have the gun blow up and come apart on them, or hurt somebody, because of how far off this thing was shooting. I'm not kidding you. He could be 8, 10 feet from the target and that bullet would be over here. It's crazy. I'm like, shoot the gun. Boom, boom, boom. Things right on. Dead, dead on. All because of that muzzle brake that was welded on. Well, it wasn't that the barrel was not, the barrel was concentric, but the muzzle brake was not, and a very tight opening. And obviously, it was made for like a 30 cal, but not much more. Let me tell you, it was very tight, and the threading was sort of loose, so you could, even when that thing was almost tight, and you couldn't get it all the way tight, but because the threading was so loose, you got wobble in it like this, and yeah. So that'll teach you too to um, work on your muzzle device, whatever it may be, to make sure you can get it all the way down flush and lock in. If you guys don't know how to do that, you're going to basically put the muzzle device on a flat surface, granite, sheet of glass, whatever, sandpaper, and back and forth, and take a little bit off till it clocks to the right spot, so your detent will go in. That's the other thing. The detent was gone due to the welding, so we had to get a detent and install that. And we put a slant brake on it, like it should have had from the beginning. And yeah, the gun was fine. So it was almost a twin to the one I have, except his appliance epoxy job came out beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And before he sold that thing, we swapped grips, because the grip, that Bakelite grip that I have on mine, the beautiful one, came from that gun. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this can be a fun Cerakote project to do. I was really kicking around the idea of Cerakote. You know what OD green is to this channel, right? It's kind of our color for the channel. Every damn thing I own is OD green. Even my Yeti. This is Cerakote, by the way. That's what Yeti does. They Cerakote them. This holds up extremely well. I have a couple that have peeled, but yeah. I was thinking about Cerakoting it a little bit different shade than this. It doesn't look right in this light. I don't know. But I was kicking it around. I've always wanted an OD green AK. I've got a couple ARs in OD green, but never an AK. And I thought, this might be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm still thinking black with that wood. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe we'll do my NPAP. That's kind of my go-to range gun that has got ridiculous rounds through it and just keep shooting. Perfect. If I just want to grab one and go to the range and know that it's always on, I grab that gun. We've got a 3x prism on it, a Magpul K grip. I have a Fab Defense stock on it with an AK or an AR buffer tube adapter, and the Fab Defense stock with the Fab Defense cheek riser, with the 3x prism primary arm scope, BD2 muzzle brake, what is it, MTI, the handguard, um, the billet aluminum M-lock handguard, um, the ALG trigger, the the ultimate trigger, the silver one. Those are fabulous triggers. RS Regulate, Yugo mount. What else? What else? What else? What else is on that thing? There's something else. I'm looking at it. Can't remember now. But yeah, talk about building an AK to fit you. Um, New guys to the AK crowd tend to do a couple things. First, they'll stress over, what am I going to buy? Which one? Should I buy the Zastava? Should I buy the Z-Pap? Should I buy an Arsenal? Oh, maybe I'll buy a Palmetto State. What should I buy? And they research and research and research. And at the end of the day, they end up buying whatever their favorite YouTube guy is pushing that day, or what their buddies have, right? Whoever's been into AKs a week longer or whatever. But I've always told you guys, buy imports first, no matter what. They're It's sad to see how much has gone away just in the last 15 years. I mean, we freaked out over Chinese guns going away back in the day, but back then nobody gave a damn because everybody looked at Chinese AKs as cheap pieces of junk. Nobody wanted them. They were, SKSs were the prepper gun. 69, 89, $99 for Chinese, Russian SKSs. And then the Yugo SKSs hit with the grenade launchers, and those were $89, I think, 99 at the most. Unfired, brand new in the crate. And those were the prepper rifles, right? Well, Yugo came after the Chinese guns, actually, but there may have been some early ones around. But Chinese and Russian SKSs all day long, 69, 79 bucks. Preppers bought those because they were cheap. The Chinese AKs came out, and those were expensive compared to the SKSs. Those were 200 bucks, 250. So the preppers weren't buying them. I can put a 30 round mag in my SKS with a little tweak in, some piece of crap Tapco mag or Chinese knockoff that never fit right. I can put that in my SKS and it's just as good, and I saved myself 150 bucks. So, the Chinese guns would be in the gun shop, and back then everybody wanted an AR. The sporters were out, and that's what everybody wanted. And they were a lot of money, yeah. But that Chinese AK, that was a piece of junk. Hell no, ain't buying no commie crap garbage. Look at how cheap that thing is. Yellow wood. Who wants that yellow wood on there? Orange wood. Nobody wanted them. Look at what's that crap plastic looking garbage? Bakelite, right? But the Bakelite side folder Chinese rifle. Look, what? That's a side folder. Who? Oh God! Nobody wanted them. And you saw those go away, and of course, everybody wants what they can't have, right? And you saw Russian guns go away. Um, Man, oh man. When Segas hit the market, you could buy Segas for, uh, man, I don't want to tell you guys wrong, but they were all over Shotgun News weren't they in the 250 maybe or so? They were dirt cheap for Segas. The not the pistol grip models, but the regular stock models where everybody converts them, moves the uh, the fire control group welds up, hopefully welds up the holes, but a lot of guys just put rivets in there or whatever. But you can buy them dirt cheap. Nobody wanted those either. And Russian guns went away then when the Vepr was out, and that was a hell of a hit. And they keep taking and taking and taking. So buy and import, because while there's ZPAPs everywhere, they could be gone tomorrow. Tomorrow. All that's got to happen is some sanction happens with Bulgaria or Yugoslavia or whatever, Serbia. Um, buy and import. I get it. And I am not bashing Palmetto State. They make a fabulous, fabulous AK. Finally, America figured it out. You want a Kalashnikov USA gun? Buy one, fine. But buy the imports first. You will be sorry. One day they'll go away. You'll buy your Palmetto State, and then I want a Palmetto State Spiker. Let me get that. And you'll buy a Kalashnikov USA, whatever. And one day they'll go away, and you'll be kicking yourself. And while those are good rifles, you'll always be able to get them. You might not be able to get those. And at the end of the day, Count Block gun's a better gun, or at least on par. But guys, they're the original. They're the original. When you buy a 1911, do you want a Colt, or do you want I don't know, a Rock River made in the Philippines? No, you want the Colt. Just make up your mind. Do you want an Arsenal? You want a Romanian gun? Do you want a ZPAP or an M70 or whatever? But get those first. And does it matter which one you pick? At the end of the day, nope. I've got them all, and I've shot them all extensively. I have my favorites, but none really better or worse than the other. Just different. So if you get a chance, if you're just getting in the market and you get a chance to shoot a couple different ones, shoot them. And they'll all feel pretty close at the end of the day. But what I'm getting at is, don't buy what the YouTube creator, this guy, is pushing, or don't buy what your buddy's pushing, or what the local gun shop is pushing. Find the import you like, buy it, shoot it. Iron sights, all that. You have all the plans you want for the gun, but shoot it with iron sights. Get to know the gun. Get to know the recoil, how it shoots, what the trigger's all about. Iron sights. Believe it or not, how about sight the gun in? I can't tell you how many guys will come up to me at the range. Hey, you're so-and-so. Yeah. Oh, what do you think of this? Oh, nice rifle. Oh, you want to shoot it? Yeah, okay, I'll put it around there. Guns off. They haven't even sighted it in. Sight the gun in. Take it apart. Get to know it. Know it inside and out. And then start changing it. Where do you want to start? I don't know. But what I'll tell you is, fit it to you first. If the grip angle is uncomfortable, maybe you want a bigger, fatter grip. Most guys want the different grip for the thickness, right? Find a grip that's the right angle for you. I like K grips. I used to shoot a lot of, oh crap, what are they called? Hogue. I used to run a lot of Hogue grips just because, I had one on my service revolver with the police force. I just liked them. I don't know. But I grew away from those. I don't care much for the rubber anymore. I don't even like the rubber overmolded Magpul grips, the K plus or whatever it is. I like a regular Magpul K grip. The angle is perfect for me, no matter what position I'm shooting from. The thickness is great. They hold up, and the texture is the best to me. It's very grippy, and grippy enough without being too grippy or not grippy enough. That's me. You may hate it. Buy what you like, but Get your furniture down first. Get your grip down. Decide whether you're putting an optic on it. What optic? Are you going to go LPVO? Which I hear there's a huge resurgence in LPVOs lately. They're back in vogue. I don't know why. I don't know. Hmm. But I've seen a lot on those folding ARs. You know, I don't know. Anyhow, decide if you're going LPVO or red dot or whatever, prism, whatever you're going to go with. Decide, or at least have kind of a direction of where you're going to go. If you're going to go red dot and you're going to use a super low mount like an RS Regulate, well, okay, you might not need a riser for your stock. If you're going to go with a prism scope, let's say, maybe you need a riser, depending, and that again depends on your build. Maybe you've got some super long geeky pencil neck and you need a riser. I don't know. But fit the gun to you. Get your stock down, your grip, your forend. I'll tell you this, and I'm going to do a video on it. This is the next video I'm doing. That's why I'm bringing this up. When it comes to handguards, guys, I had a guy sent me a comment. It started from this, and it was on my TDI billet aluminum M-LOK handguard video. TDI was one of the first companies to ever approach me and send me some free stuff. And back in the day, I thought, man, this is so cool. I got companies sending me stuff, No, I think that's mostly why YouTubers get into it at first. They think they're going to get all this free crap, right? Well, that was many years ago. And since then, I've had exactly one other company give me something free. And I always tell you guys about it. But actually, I think I bought the first 3 of them. I bought one and I liked it so much. I use them all the time, but they did send me one free one and a bunch of other crap too, but that's besides the point. I was using them before they sent them for free. Anyhow, this guy sent or put a comment down saying, man, I built this rifle and I accessorized it and did all this stuff. And now it's like 8 pounds. How do you get it so light? What is it? What does that handguard weigh? And I told him next to nothing, less than your polymer or your wood one. It weighs nothing. And he says, well, how did I go wrong? How do I mount an optic? What's the name of the gas tube / pick rail gas tube? I can't remember the name. Someone will come up with it here. He had that on there along with a quad rail style handguard, heavy as shit, long, I'm sure, extended, and all this other crap. And then, of course, put an optic on there that weighs 2 pounds when you're done and all this other stuff. And he can't understand why his rifle doesn't fit him right. It weighs so much and it's so forward heavy and I get tired holding it and carrying it. What should I do? Well, I'm going to show you guys what to do, how to build the lightest AK there is without spending a shitload of money and not having to experiment with 47 stocks and different things and end up with a bastardized thing that you hate that weighs way too much. And it's very, when it comes to the handguard furniture, guys, forget all this extended stuff. And well, I need to mount this and I need to mount that. You don't need to mount anything. What are you going to mount? You're gonna mount infrareds and designators and all this stuff because you got your night vision, right? You went out and spent 14 grand for night vision. What are you gonna mount up there? A flashlight at best? Maybe. And if you do mount a flashlight, you'll never use it. You won't. Well, I'm going to keep it by the bedside so at night I can identify my target. Sure you are. You want to wake up in the middle of the night It's an intruder in your house, and the first thing you're going to grab is your AK. I don't know about that. Um, when the cops get there and you can't hear a word they're saying, probably till the next day or day after, or your attorney speaks for you because you can't hear anything. Yeah, forget it. And you can still mount a flashlight if you want and stay light. That's beside the point. I'm just kind of making a joke out of it. Forget these big, long, extended handguards with quad rails, whether it's Zanitco or Midwest Industries or whoever else is making one. Forget it. You want to upgrade because you want to mount something? Get that M-Lock one. It's essentially the same shape as what the good old commies put on it, and it'll do everything you need, except it'll be lighter. You can mount something to it. Will it get hot? Yeah, eventually. They all get hot. Well, how's it heat? Does it control the heat? Is there a heat shield? AKs get hot fast, and you better wear gloves if you're shooting an AK for any amount of time. They just do. It's part of the game. It's not an AR. It never will be. Just deal with it. And that being said, that billet handguard, yes, it's metal. So metal, there's not much on this planet that conducts heat better than metal. Few things, but not many. Um, but then again, it's really not in that much contact with it. And with as much openings as there are, it dissipates the heat really well. So they don't get that hot. They're as good as anything else out there, put it that way. If you're shooting a ton, put a pair of gloves on. But it's ultralight. It's efficient. You can mount a light to it. Here, you want to mount a light? Fine. Get a barrel mounted light, or maybe get a gas block or something that has a rail or something. You can figure it out. But that TDI arms handguard with the M-Locks and all the other channels in there is a great place. They're great. I can't say enough about them. But again, that's me. Some things I'll push. I'll tell you my experience with it, and you may not like it. But take my advice on some things, because I've spent a lot of money over the years on a ton of crap that's all laying in boxes over here, and I run what works. So figure out your grip, figure out your stock, figure out that your forend, and stay light no matter what. Do the lightest thing available. Do you want to go to a buffer tube adapter? I don't know. Yeah, if you need that length of pull adjustment, sure, by all means. There's a bunch of good ones out there. Rifle Dynamics, Krebs. Um, the one I have on there, I believe, is Rifle Dynamic. Thing is so nicely done. Works great. Get yourself a buffer tube and do whatever stock you want. Or maybe you want to use a wood stock, a standard, or a polymer, or whatever. But just keep it light, okay? Keep it light. Again, the Zanetco, I've got one. At the end of the day, I don't think it's all that great. No matter how tight they are when you get them, they're going to end up wobbling. Um, Anyhow, get your furniture dialed. And then if you're going to do an optic, two ways to go, really. I mean, I have the 3-power prism on that gun, and it works great for that gun for kind of an all-around thing. I can still use it CQB and shoot 2 eyes open even with the 3-power. You can get away with it. For my old eyes, it gives me enough so I can still see what I'm hitting out a little further than 100, even a 200. But super lightweight, go to micro red dot and a forward biased RS Regulate mount, and call it a day. It's a great setup. There's a few other tweaks to it. I'm going to show you in this video my lightest, fastest most maneuverable, usable AK I have. You guys don't see me shoot it very often because I shoot it when I just want to go out and have a blast. Run drills and stuff, and a lot of mostly close quarter stuff. It's just so light and so fast. You can sling it, you can put it on your back, whatever, and it's so light you almost forget it's there. Especially if you're running something fully kitted out like my Krebs gun or something like that. I love that gun, but I kind of destroyed it by putting all that Zinco on there. It weighs an absolute ton. But every one of you guys will look at that thing and go, oh my God, especially the younger guys or guys just getting into it. Look at that thing. It's a Krebs and it's got all the Zinitko, everything they ever friggin' made. And it's got an LPVO that weighs 42 pounds. And it's a fabulous weapon when you're shooting from a static position. Let's face it, most of our guns get carried from the trunk to the bench, right? At the end of the day. But talk about a fabulous AK to shoot 3-gun with. The video I'm going to show you on this lightweight one, it's fabulous. Fabulous. And if you can get away shooting a red dot in 3-gun where you've got maybe a few stages, it'll work fine with a red dot. If maybe you got to go to like a 3-power or an LPVO, okay. Yeah, it's going to add a lot of weight. Let's face it. You throw a mount and LPVO on there, and you're adding at least 2 pounds, at least. And that's a lot of weight when it comes down to it. But you guys are going to love this video. And that's what I'm telling you. Really doesn't matter the gun. Just get an import. They're all good, every one of them. You like Z-Paps? Great, get a Z-Pap. You want a Wasser? Great, get a Wasser. Just as good as anything else out there. Get an Arsenal. You want an Arsenal because you spend more money or you just like it? Whatever, fine. You don't have to explain to anybody. Buy what you want and then do what I'm telling you. And you'll love the gun. Fit it to you. This gun that I'm going to show you in the video is the ugliest AK I own. It's 4 different colors. I think there's plum, there's FDE, there's black, there's every color they ever made is on that rifle. I don't care what it looks like. It fits me. So I shoot it so well and so fast. It's got an ALG. I love it. But same thing with that NPAP. Guys come up to me and be like, dude, I've seen your collection. Why do you shoot this NPAP all the time? Why? It's not, God, I thought that was a Z-Pap. It's an NPAP. Yeah. Why do you shoot it? You got Feppers and Segas and this and that. Because it fits me really well. I can try this. Get whatever position you're in. You're sitting down, you're standing up, you're at the bench, you're wherever. Close your eyes, throw the gun up. Open your eyes. What do you see? Do it 4, 5, 6 times. If the gun fits you, you'll open your eyes and you'll be right on the reticle or right on the sights immediately. If you're not, the gun doesn't fit you. Yeah, there's a little muscle memory involved if you haven't been shooting it for a while. But regardless of the fact, if it doesn't fit you, meaning length of pull, where that stock is hitting you, whether you need a riser or not, the grip, is your finger in the proper trigger position to have the pad right on the trigger? Is your hand hitting the right spot up front? Can you support it right? Is it steady and comfortable and everything lined up for you? Everything might line up properly, but maybe you can't get steady with the gun. Maybe it's uncomfortable. Whatever the case may be, Mess with it till you find out what fits. Don't worry what it looks like. Don't matter. I don't care if it's some part that everybody thinks is junk. Like maybe you find a UTG, this works great. Don't be embarrassed because you got a UTG part on there. I'm not telling you put junk on there. If you're gonna put UTG, at least do their American made stuff, not the cheap knockoff stuff. But you get my point. I'm just trying to make a point. Don't worry about if it's the latest and greatest. Don't worry if it's not what Rockford Ordnance or Rob Ski told you to do. Don't worry if your friends are going to laugh at you because it's this. Don't worry about anything except how it fits you. Look at Rob Ski, same thing. He likes to put friggin' tennis tape on his stuff. Great for him. For me, be way too thick and spongy. Not going to do it. Who cares? Who cares? If it fits you, it's comfortable. You can carry it all day. You can throw it up and it's there every single time. The gun fits you. Now, once you have that, you still want to experiment or, okay, I got this cheapy grip, but I like it. And here, this better one is the exact same angle. I'm going to put that on. Great. Do that then. But fit it to you and make sure you do the right optic that will work for you in at least, let's say, 70% of the time. There's different tools for different jobs. So make the tool fit you and then make it work for the type of work you do most of the time. You can always swap an optic out, whatever. But that's my advice. The video I'm going to show you is how to do it without it weighing 82 pounds. And you now hate what you thought you were going to love and you put all the money you saved into it. And now you hate it and it's uncomfortable and I don't want to shoot it and I'm broke. I'm going to show you how to avoid that. All right. So that'll be a cool video. I hope you guys that are just getting into the platform take some of that advice. And you can use that advice on any platform you're using. Maybe you're building a AR. Maybe you're putting together, I don't know. Maybe you're putting together MP5. Maybe whatever. Maybe you're putting together a bolt gun. And you want to make sure the stock and the riser and everything puts you lined up with your scope and you don't want it to weigh 82 tons and whatever it is. Fit the gun to you. That's the most important thing first. Yes, a solid platform to start with is a good place to start. But when you're going to start adding all this crap that you've been dreaming of, fit it to you first. Now, did I get my point across? All right, let's check in the chat here because I've been blabbing. Let's see who's in here. So I'm glad some of you guys got in here for Tuesday night. I'm glad I stayed away from politics tonight because some of you guys wouldn't hang around. There's a Virgin M92 down here in the Sunshine State waiting for a reason to take a trip to Wisconsin. We are going to do a shoot this year for sure. When I get I would love to have everybody at my range, in my home, I mean, but I'm sure 99% of everybody out there is a good, hardworking, great American, but I don't know. It's still the internet, and to have people come to where you live, I guess it's like extreme internet dating with firearms. And you're a 110-pound female, that kind of thing. I don't know if it's the smartest thing, but we can certainly put one together. Maybe I'll rent a range or something like that. I don't know. We'll see, but we'll put something together. we'll see. I just want to do a shoot. I'd love to have all you guys out. 2AEDU did it, and he was lucky enough to have Ross open his place up and have all these strangers. Well, they had a lot of people they knew locally. I was probably one of the only strangers that showed up. And I'm not a stranger anymore, so that's good. All good comes of it. Like I said, 99.9% of the people that are involved in, I hate to say the firearm hobby, right? Because this is more a mindset and a lifestyle and the way we like to live, right? In a good way, um, God fearing, patriotic, hardworking, helpful, empathetic, uh, good people. What you'd want your neighbor to be is pretty much how I look at most 99.999% of people that are seriously into this way of life. I've met very, very few true douchebags in this hobby. I'll say hobby. I hate saying that too, but you guys know what I mean. The Michigan Congress has been on spring break recess. Well, I guess you will take it, right? It pushes it a little bit down the road, but it don't change much, does it? Just like they did with the 104 URS. Yes, sir. Somebody commented that rumor has it they fired the person responsible for putting those barrels or drilling those gas ports or whatever caused the problem. I doubt that. Mistakes happen. And we tend to just stick to the bad stuff. Look at what they did. Well, look at how many thousands of fabulous firearms they put out. Come on. I don't know. It doesn't seem to me like it's problem after problem after problem after problem. It's not. It's not. And again, a lot of times these things start over one or two guns, a sample of one. But I get it. There's something wrong. But if they take care of it, they take care of it. Orion Fixer, if the Illinois State Police come to get my guns, why do I have to register them if they already know I have them? That's a very good point. I guess when it comes to that stuff, like ATF showing up on people's front doorsteps and all that, if there isn't a registry, then why do they show up on their front doorsteps? Besides, knowing who has the gun and what gun it is, what good does that do you in solving a crime? It doesn't prevent the crime. Yeah, it may help you solve it later, but it doesn't prevent it. So none of it does you any good. None of it. But we know that, right? We know that. And we also know that the point isn't safety. It has nothing to do with safety. If it did, there'd be other solutions. It's one thing, disarmament. There is nothing they want other than, there's no reason to even talk about it. All this debate and, well, they're doing this and they want to do that. And why would they do that? And look how stupid they are. This isn't going to prevent that. That isn't going to change this. And short barrels versus long barrels versus pistols. And if you had that, why? That's less concealable. And stop. It's not worth the breath because none of it, no solution you talk about with 10 people and argue about and online and videos and all this stuff, none of it changes the fact that the only thing they want is complete disarmament, period. They don't want you having a long gun. They don't want you having an SBR. They don't want you having a shotgun. Don't want you having a semi-automatic, a bolt action, a revolver, uh, soupity doopity, long, short pistol, break this, brace. They don't, none of it. None of it is the point. It has nothing to do with braces, SBRs, semi-automatic, full automatic, silenced. It has nothing to do with any of it. They want it all. End of story. End of story. Well, why are they doing that? Why is this? Everything they want, which is all gone, is illegal. Period. Every bit of it. Well, you're working off a false assumption of or a false interpretation of the Second Amendment. That's been a lie since. Shut up. They want them gone. End of story. There's no reason to argue. Just stop them. That's it. They will continue to try, figure a way around it. Whether it's a brace or a 30-round mag or a 100-round mag or a belt fed or you can't own a cannon, or it's just playing, it's mental masturbation. That's what it is. Stop. They want them gone. And they won't stop, and they'll just attack, and it doesn't matter. Well, that's unconstitutional. Yes, it is. We know it. We know it's unconstitutional. We know that from the get-go. Point one. Point two, they want you utterly, completely disarmed. No more firearms. Period. Those are the two facts. And that's not going to change. They will continue to fight for it. They will continue to say the Second Amendment is being interpreted wrong, or here, it's not even that. They don't care. The Constitution means nothing to them, at least on this point, but I would say the whole thing. They want it gone. They really do. Because it stands in their way. It's that pesky little thing that makes them have to go through all this arguments. So 3 facts: complete disarmament, Constitution should go away, and we are nothing but dumb hick rubes. So, and we shouldn't have them anyways. Those are the 3 facts. And no matter how much you talk or argue or inform, you're not going to change their opinion at all. You're not. And the sooner we realize that, the better. So how do you stop it? Well, there's what you can talk about. But the rest of it, get over it. It doesn't matter. It's how are you going to legally stop the agenda? That's the agenda. We're the people that are the subject of the agenda, and our favorite things are what they're after. Pure and simple. So stop all the comments. Just let's figure out how to do it. That's what it is. But yeah. How do they know where to show up, right? If there isn't a registry. How do they know where to come get your trigger? Well, okay, that's through postal records or credit card records, well, same thing if you charge a gun on a card, or they have it all. They've said they have it all. They do. At the end of the day, there should be no forms at all. Nothing. It's all against the Constitution. There's nothing in there that says you have to fill out a form and give all your pertinent information to buy a firearm, period. Digital system? Oh, well, yeah, we get rid of that after it's approved. Sure you do. Once it's digital, it never goes away. It can be stored anywhere in any fashion. Some One part can be put here, one part can be put there, part can be put on the moon. It's there, it's retrievable. It should never be digitized. It should never, and it is, even when you fill out the paper form. Guess what? Your FFL is digitizing it when he puts it in his computer. Um, the old call-in days, that's great. Now your FFL isn't digitizing it, but the guy on the other end is, right? No, shouldn't be. No background checks, no nothing. Nothing. Zero. Until we get that, again, it's mental masturbation. How do we do it? That's what you need to talk about. All right, let's see here. Does anything the anti-2A gang does make sense? No. Yeah, it does. It does make sense. That's what I'm talking about. We always do that. God, it doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? It does. It makes perfect sense. The sense is, it doesn't make sense because they're we think there's this agenda and this is what they want, but that's not what they want. They want the one thing. They want them gone. Period. Period. And they'll do it at any cost, and they'll keep fighting, and they'll spend just as many dollars. Why? That's the and that's not even talking something we should be talking about. The why is because they want to control you. It's all about power and control, and at the end of the day, money. Um, absolute power breeds absolute control. You've all heard that. At the end of the day, they don't want you having a way to defend yourself because they're pretty damn sure that what they're about to do to you, you're not going to like too much. Matter of fact, you're going to dislike it so much that you're going to want to use that tool against them. That's what they're afraid of. So don't think for 1 minute that they're confused or they don't make sense. They know exactly what they want to do. And it's all happening, and it keeps coming, and everybody goes, well, why would they do that? Why do they want a digital currency? What's wrong with what we have? Why? Because they can control you with it. They can turn it on, turn it off, give you more, give you less, take things away, enable you not to buy things or get more of what you want, or heat your house, or feed yourself, or buy firearms or more ammunition. They want to be able to shut it off. And it's all just a disguise as to how they're going to do it. Well, it's so convenient. There'll be no more theft and crime and this and that because you won't have any money on you for them to steal. And it's all here and it's safe. And when they control the money, 100, they control it to a certain extent always. They control its ability to purchase, its value. They manipulate it. It's proven, right? It's proven right here in silver. They're doing it right now. Been doing it forever. Once they control that money source, it's over with. You will kowtow, bow down to whatever in order to get the things you need, right? So digital currency might be almost worse than losing the Second Amendment. Just as dangerous, if not more. Second Amendment's the only thing there to protect that from happening at the end of the day. But yesterday, they started the first parts of digital currency. Did you know that? That's why silver and gold shot up yesterday. It shot up. Yep. Gold is over 2,000 an ounce. Everybody says, oh, it's temporary. It's going to fall back down 1,600 range, 17, maybe 1,800. Yeah, it's funny because 2 weeks ago I heard, well, it'll settle back in 1,650 is where it's going to settle. And then throughout the week, well, I think 1750 is right. Oh, it's going to settle at 1850. That's where it's going to drop back down to. It'll stay there. And that, well, you know, man, I think the new normal is 2000 an ounce. That's where it's going to be. It's over 2000. Yeah, it's at $2,045, I think. It was sort of hanging in that low to mid 1900s for the last 2 weeks, maybe even a little lower than that. And now it's over 2000 by almost $50. And yeah, and it's going higher. Silver today hit $25 an ounce. That's spot, not what you can buy, not with the premium for bars or coins or whatever. Hey, get this. Silver American Eagles, right? Probably the quintessential choice for new silver buyers, stackers, they call them, whatever. Because why? Well, it's recognizable. You can liquidate it. Not that you can't liquidate other silver. It's just as easy. Just people think that, well, it says United States of America and God we trust on there. Everybody knows it. We can liquidate it. Guess what the premium is on it right now? It's going to be pushing 50% pretty soon. The premium's 40%. So if spot today is $25, they're getting $45 for a single 1 ounce eagle. Not a collectible one, not a proof coin. $45 for eagles. But nothing's going on. Don't worry about that digital currency. It's nothing. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. Don't worry. How long I've been talking about this, guys? And some people knew. Some people, well, maybe. Nah, it'll never happen. It's happening. Monday morning when they started the new trial, it's coming. So is your national country ID. And yeah, without that, you will be able to do nothing. You will have that government ID, your digital currency, those are connected, and you can't, they're already using it basically. Go to a national park, go to Yellowstone, go to, I don't know, pick it. Guess what you can't do there? Well, you can't carry a gun there, but you can't pay cash to get in. You can't go and see what every American citizen owns. Those great, magnificent wonders that have been set aside for generations to come. So your kids and grandkids and their grandkids and uncles and aunts can go see them and appreciate them and see them in their natural beauty. You can't show up there with a stack of singles, fives, and tens and 20s and whatever. You cannot pay to get in. Well, all I have is cash. Well, I'm sorry, sir, you can't come in. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Think about this. I'm pretty sure Mount Rushmore is a federal national park monument, right? So you can't get in to see Mount Rushmore, those presidents' faces, by using the money with those presidents' faces on it. You can't go see it. Well, here, I want to pay. I want to see it. I'm a citizen, my tax dollars, and that's been put away for me, for us, we own it. Sorry, sir, you can't see it. You're not allowed. Well, how do I see it? Oh, just give us that card. Yeah, they take credit cards, but it ain't going to be long. It'll be digital only. It's coming fast. I'll say it's pretty much in full swing by 25, year and a half. The trials are done. What they did exactly Monday, I forget exactly what they did, but it kicked it off sort of. It will be sort of, they want you to opt in. They want you to do it voluntarily. They don't want to force anything. You have to buy in. And how do they do that? By making certain things that you want to do for recreation, for fun, for this. They make it that you can only do it using that. So you'll opt in. Well, I want to go do that. So yeah, we'll try it. Yeah, we'll get uh, um, the digital wallet and I'll put a little bit of money in there so we can use it to go to park. Hey, that was pretty easy. And it's a norm. Any of you remember a day before debit cards? Um, hell, early on as a kid, and my parents certainly remember a time without credit cards. Back in the 50s and 60s, it was something to be able to get a credit card. It meant that you were something. I mean, you had stellar credit. You paid your bills. It was a big deal to get a credit card. They did not hand them out to everybody like they do today. American Express back in the day, that was a big deal. Today, it's nothing, right? And then debit cards came. Oh, yeah, you can go. And what was it for? To go get cash, right? When the banks closed, you could use it to go get cash on a Saturday when you're running out to a family party event. You need money. So convenient. Boom. Look, honey, it spits money out at me. And then what? And then that debit card got what on it? Originally, it didn't have it, but it got a MasterCard mark. And then we started using that. And, oh, I can pay for gas or use it anywhere a Visa is good, right? Or MasterCard, whatever. But even then, back in the day, think about it. Remember, what if you walked into a gas station and you wanted a pop and a candy bar? And you walked up to the counter and you gave them a credit card or a debit card, whatever. They didn't know the difference, really. It was embarrassing, right? You would have been early on, you were embarrassed to pay for small items like that with a credit card. Why? Because it meant you don't have the money, right? Yeah, maybe you forgot it at home or whatever. That's all you had. But either way, you'd almost rather not stop and not get that whatever than the embarrassment of pulling a credit card out to pay with a couple people in line you didn't know behind you, right? Not anymore. We will run that card for a 5-cent stick of gum. Well, now it's probably a 20-cent piece of gum, right? Yes, you will. Why? Because they normalized it. It went from credit cards. By the way, did any of you know there's a difference between a credit card and a charge card? So, credit card is something you can run a balance on over longer than a month. A charge card is what the American Express started out being. You could charge throughout the month, but then you paid it in full at the end of the month. There's a difference, a big difference. Well, now even American Express, you can run a balance, right? When I got my American Express, I had to pay it at the end of the month. It was sheerly convenience at that point. Or traveling. American Express travelers checks. Remember those? You could exchange dollars for a paper check that was more recognizable and trusted versus your personal check. So it was about convenience. And back in those days, I think there was a customer service aspect to things. And of course, then it became all about the money, right? American Express used to be nothing more than a yearly fee and no interest because you paid it every month. So they only made the money on the yearly fee and the percentage they charged the business that took the card. But they normalized it all. And now you run a debit card for everything. Most people. Some of us run around with cash, right? But know one thing. Whenever you use that card, they know exactly what you bought. Well, big deal, Chris. What does that matter? Well, you use it at the gas station every morning for a Red Bull. They know you like Red Bull. You put your gas on it. They know exactly how much gas you put in total. They know what it was per gallon. And now with cell phones and all of that, and even your car without a cell phone, they figure out exactly how far you drive, exactly how much gas you use, then exactly how much gas you waste because you have a lead foot or you let it idle for an hour or whatever the case may be. That's actually gotten even easier since the cars hook up right to the internet the minute you start them. Although if you want to use that internet in the car, you got to pay for it, even though it's running all the time, reporting on you. Throw in the million or so license plate readers across the country and the millions and millions and millions of cameras at every intersection, along every highway, every side road, every city street. They're everywhere. Add all that in. Why do you think they went up? Is it for safety? Do we need them pointing in every direction at an intersection? Why do we need them? Have you ever been rear-ended at a light? Or have you ever been going through a light? You clearly have the green you're going through, and somebody T-bones you. Police show up to do a report. No cop didn't see it, right? No other witnesses but you and them. Have you ever once, if you had to fight out whose fault it was in the accident, have you ever once said, "Hey, Mr. Policeman, just pull up the video off that camera up there"? Because that's what we think they're there for, right? To fight crime and see what really happened and all that. No, you can't get that video. You can't see it. Who can see it? I don't even know if the local police department can see it. Ask the cop you know the next person, next time you see your local lieutenant or chief. Where's that video go? Where does it go? Think about it. I'm sure the police can access it, but we all picture it like it's there for safety. And it's down at the local police station. There's a bank of monitors with 4 officers in front of it watching. Oh, look, that was dangerous. We better, you know, it's not what's happening. It's there to see you, track you, see your license plate, your face, everything. I walked in the local Fleet Farm the other day. I told you this the other day. Maybe some of you didn't hear it. I walked in, and there's a monitor mounted up there. As I walk in, I see myself walking in. I'm watching it, and all of a sudden, this little box appears around my face. They're doing facial recognition in a store. Then I'm down in Florida the other day. I go to Lowe's to get some tools to build this fence I was putting up. And out in the parking lot, it looks like one of those generators or air compressors on a trailer that they can tow, like a construction thing, or it actually looked like a generator with the big pole on top with the lights up top, temporary lighting for different situations or emergency. And down there, you would think, oh, that's because of the hurricane that happened, whatever it was, 10 months ago or whatever. It must be there for that. No, it says police and safety, security all over it. But what's on it? Cameras and license plate readers. They know when you pulled in, who pulled in, how long you were there, when you left. And then you walk in the store, there's facial recognition. Why? Why? Is it to keep you safe? Yeah, maybe somebody disappears. Maybe a young woman comes out to her car and some stranger in a mask whacks her over the head and stuffs her in the back seat, and they use it to To do what? To go, well, that's the last place she was seen. That great. Did it help solve the crime? No. Why? Because we already tracked her with the credit card she used in there. It's track, 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 track. And digital currency is the final end. The all the rest is means to that end. And there, it's all laid out. The carbon credits. Um, guys, start learning, reading, and watching. There's some people on YouTube that have really done the deep dive on it. You might want to start watching some stuff about the electronics in your house. Stuff that you don't think is hooked to the internet is. Things that shouldn't, and you think don't have cameras and microphones do. Your smart TVs now, they don't have, shouldn't say that. There's some now, it's a bad way for me to put it. It used to be that an electronic device needed the hardware necessary. For instance, a microphone, right? You needed a microphone if that device somewhere was going to pick up voices in the room. In other words, your, let's say, TV listening to you, right? It needed a microphone. Well, now we know a lot have it because you do the voice remote, or you think maybe that the microphone is in the remote. They don't need a microphone anymore. They don't need the hardware. All they need is software that converts a speaker in the TV into the microphone. There used to be guys, there still is. There's guys that take apart electronic everything from coffee makers that's hooked to the internet. Oh, air fresheners in your house connected to the internet. Guess who has them? Me. My wife brought them home. So she can change the scent and the level of scent in our house from her cell phone. I told her, get that fucking thing out of my house right now. Excuse me. They made us invite it all in. Try getting by without your phone for a day. Can you even remember your passwords for anything? Can you remember all of your children's cell phone numbers and home numbers, if they even have a home phone? Can you remember them without your cell phone? You know how many phone numbers I remember? 2. My wife's cell phone number and my landline at my home. That's it. I don't remember any other number. If I lost my phone and couldn't get hold of my wife or call my house, I'm screwed. I'm lost forever. I can't get hold of anyone. I don't know their number. I literally don't. I couldn't call any of my children. I don't know their numbers. I don't have them written down anywhere either. Pretty stupid, huh? Think about it, though. How many of you are in that same position? But it's all for convenience and safety. No, it's not. Man, why do they want to get rid of the dollar and go to digital currency? Well, digital currency is going to be the same thing. It's just going to be how many dollars I had, but in whatever tokens or hash marks or whatever you want to name it. No, it is not a dollar. It does not represent a dollar. It has nothing to do with the dollar. Well, yeah, it does, because I've got $100,000 in my bank account, and they're going to give me 100,000 tokens on my new digital. Well, are they? Maybe, but I'll bet you no. I will bet you no, because first of all, they'll be. Just wait. I promise you. You guys are going to look back, and you're going to get. You know what? That idiot AK person. He told me about this 10 years ago. I promise you're going to be saying that, because it's already I've been saying this so long and now it's happening. I'm so happy that people like Ron DeSantis, government officials, um, uh, presidents of huge multinational companies are saying it. The few that aren't in with the rest of the woke, whatever. It's here. It's real. Finally, my wife doesn't go, will you stop already with the crazy talk? It's not crazy. It's here. I told you, I don't know, a month and a half ago, watch. And I gave you a bunch of phrases that you're going to start hearing. And now you're hearing every one of them. And you thought I was, no way, no way. And it's here right now. Not only here, started out here sprinkling. And now it's already full force. You're hearing it everywhere. It's not good. Don't let it happen. Florida is passing laws right now that digital currency cannot be used in the state from any government entity, the federal government, or any outside governmental or non-governmental agency. Non-governmental. Why? Because I told you who the enemies are in all this. It's two organizations that everything else falls underneath, including your own country and government. But those are the WHO, the World Health Organization, and the World Economic Forum. Those are the enemy. I told you, well, who's the World Economic Forum? They just had a big shindig, a big get together, and they were all there. Who was there? Oh, Sting was there. The other asswipe from Microsoft, Bill Gates, Hillary was there. All the big shots, the who's who. Yeah, they were all there. So go watch the video of the latest World Economic Forum meeting. Go watch it. And every time they show who's there, they put the names on the screen. They show them, put the names on the screen. Every one of the people there are the enemy. They are who are taking control, not just of the country, but it's the new world order. Everyone always said, well, who are they? Who are they? What's this new world order? What's that? How's this going to work? It's right there, guys. There are the leaders, the chairman of the board, the everything. They're going to control your money. They're going to control you. They're going to control everything. And it's not, I have not lost my mind. I'm not a whack job. It's out there. Read. I keep telling you guys, go to the UN's website and read about the 15-minute cities and Project whatever 40. It's the 40 cities. All the cities in the US that are in it, the mayors are on there giving a whole video talking about it. What they're going to do, how they're going to control, how you won't be able to drive. There won't be any parking for cars in these cities where there won't be parking spots. So how can you drive? ULEV. Remember, that was one of the terms I gave you. ULEV. Ultra low, I'm sorry, ULEZ. Ultra low emission zone. You probably might have heard it here and there once or twice. You're going to hear a lot more of it. Where did I run into it the other day? I was amazed. It was on oh shit, what was it? I was in a government website looking up something totally random, and it listed ULEZ. I saw, what? I start reading, and it was like under things that could disqualify you or something. I was shocked. I'm like, holy shit, there it is. It's not just on the UN site anymore. Now it's on this government site. It's happening at this regime right now that's in power has pushed it forward by 20 years. In 2 years, they're pushing it so fast, and everybody's just taking it. A few people are finally, you're seeing a lot speaking out about this digital currency, a lot. Why do you think silver and gold are shooting up, guys? They're shooting up. Put it this way. I've been putting away precious metals for 20 years. Always a little up, little down, kind of even. Yeah, 30% profit this week. 30%. Well, why are they doing this to the economy? It's planned. They are imploding it on purpose. And it's a shame because everyone that thinks that it's crazy talk or whack jobs talking about it are going to lose way more than half of their retirement savings. If, they're going to lose the 401ks, everything. The worst is those 50 plus they're getting ready to retire that think they finally got it. I'm getting there. I'm going to have it. I'm going to retire. No, you're not. No, you are not. You will be working the rest of your life. 1 year from now, come back and tell me how you're doing, what's left, if anything. I'm not saying this like an I told you so or doom and gloom or to scare you. I'm I know what to do and I've done some things to prepare for it, but I don't know how you're going to stop it. I really don't. It's so entrenched. It's everywhere. They have built this net around that is nobody's going to slip the net. I don't know. I don't know. And they play the long game. I've told you guys that time after time, and they've been doing it so long. And the money that's been poured in and the technology that they control, it's the technology. They're doing it without a gun, without firing a shot. I think people are starting to see it. So I hope that the more woke start to see it before it's too late, and that people come together, that they look past this fake division that they've pushed on everybody, that you look at your next door neighbor and go, you know what? They're nice people. These aren't what they said they should be or who I should hate or not get along with. At the end of the day, we're American citizens and we should be each other's best friend. And we only have one enemy to fight against other than some other maybe enemies. But the rest of it's a smokescreen. And I had people tell me back when I talk about some of this stuff, well, how did they get all these countries and all these people in on it? There's no way they can do that. They couldn't do that. Really? They couldn't, huh? They couldn't do what happened that fine February. Next thing you know, you're all wearing diapers on your face. Yeah, they couldn't do it, huh? Look what they did to the ex-president today. How do you think 24 is going to go? They've secured the vote, right? I mean, we've checked all those machines and all that, right? Voter registration and all those thousands coming over the border. Tons of fighting age males coming in groups from all kinds of countries. South American, China, all fighting age men. Lots and lots. Way more than women and children. I wonder. Anyhow, guys, that's enough for one night. All I can tell you guys is go. Your brain's probably swimming right now. Or if you thought I was nuts, you would have checked out a long time ago. You're smart. You have an inkling. You've heard. It makes sense. You're going, things that make you go, When they do that, go read, go watch. Read, watch. Not page 1 of the search, page 5 of the search. Dig deeper. Just dig, read. Some will be bullshit, some will be spot on, some will be false this, false that. But when you read enough, you can pick it out and you'll know. And when it all makes sense and all comes together, you're going to shit yourself first, and then you're going to get mad, and then you're going to start thinking, well, how do I get out of this? And that's what you got to figure out. That's what you got to get together. But the first thing is getting past the stigma of it and acknowledging it with maybe close friends or family first. So, and then getting together with people that understand, that have done the research, that understand what's going on, what the end game is, and start doing something. It's a lot of it is still some years off, but they've accelerated the pace, and it's coming, and a lot is here already. You've heard it. I told you. Now you're hearing it. You're going, well, maybe he just read something and knew ahead of time. And guys, I'm not privileged and I'm not that smart. It's just go read, go look, and figure it out for yourself. If anything, just put your mind at rest. Maybe you'll say, he's all full of shit. Go do it. I beg you to go do it because you'll find it and you'll go, holy cow. All right, what are we going to do about this? That's what you got to do. Let me check in real quick here and then I'm out. Gabriel Booge the third. I made it back almost in time. Hope everybody's doing great. We are. We had a good gun thing going, and then I got off into the other stuff. Why? Because the Second Amendment protects and stops everything I'm talking about. Tex Bullington, evening, gents. Rock, if you get a brick and mortar store, I think hiring people to work will be your biggest problem. Absolutely, it will be, I'm sure. You know what? When it comes to stuff like that, you got to love what you do. It's got to be your passion first. The problem is those passionate jobs a lot of times don't pay the money that you need to pay the bills, right? I hire people that are passionate about what we sell at my current position. I don't know how you can have people selling something that don't use it or are passionate about it. We sell RVs, guys, and if you've never camped in an RV, how do you sell one? How do you talk to your customer? When you don't even know how a system works or anything. I don't get that. I don't get that. You wouldn't, an anti-gunner wouldn't go work at a gun shop, would they? Maybe they would. I don't know. Anyhow, let's not go down that rabbit hole, huh? Is FFL needed to sell bulk ammo? I don't think an FFL is needed to sell ammo, period. To manufacture ammo it is, but to sell, no. Martin says no unless you're in Cali. You might partnership with FFL in your neighborhood. How hard is it to get? It's not hard. It's just going through the process. That's all. And I don't have it because it's hard or I don't want to. I'm going to do it. It's just the timing, like I said. Hey, Pillbox Bunker is here. Good to see you. I feel bad for these guys that popped in at the end and just caught my rant on the digital currency and all that crap. I wish you were here for the gun stuff. I don't think we're just on some crazy rabbit hole, although I kind of am, but I try to limit it. But I'm just trying to spread the word. That's all. I love fiddling with my Beretta PX4, cocking the hammer, decocking, dropping the mag, admiring the engineering. Exactly. Jewelry for men. I do the same thing. It drives my wife nuts. Yes, Rob Ski is fast as lightning for shipping. Yes, he is. Almost in time. Let's see. Okay. Who else is in here? Martin Co. 762 is here. What's going on, man? Glad to have you. Savage Lee, he was the one fiddling with his decocker. Always fiddling with his decocker. Hattori Hanzo, what did I miss? Distracted and delayed by trying to file an amended tax return. More theft, right? Has there been any updates on the Stava is bringing the underfolder to market? I have not heard one, but it is coming. I just don't know when. I'll see what I can find out this week for you, though. And we're down. They didn't cut it, though, dude. Amazing, right? Blind Rocket, great sounding advice. I got an HKSP5, promptly put all of the CAC stuff on it. Now it weighs a lot. As kick-ass and as cool as it is, part of me just wishes I kept it stock. I'm looking at mine. Guess what's on it? Take a guess. Absolutely zero bone-ass stock, and that's how it's going to stay, other than a factory HK claw mount and a micro red dot. That's the only thing going on that gun. That's all it needs. It is perfection in and of itself, just how it is. Although I do hate the factory grip. Why would they have made it smooth like that? I don't know. I'm sure there was a reason. I just hate it. And it's not the right thickness. And I think the angle might be a little off. I haven't shot it enough to really, but yeah, the grip is a little weird. But the claw mount and the red dot, when I can afford that $600 claw mount, it's crazy. Crazy. Speaking of affording, once again, YouTube this month, 0. That's what I made this month, 0. Isn't that nice? Love it. They're doing the same to us as in China. Absolutely. We actually, last month, we surpassed China in the number of cameras we have in this country. So you see what they do over there? They were blinding the cameras with lasers. It fries out the sensor or whatever. Silly string. I saw a meme. Surveillance state, multi-millions of dollars, whatever, defeated by a $2 can of silly string. That's what they have to do because of facial recognition, right? And over there, they're playing for keeps. You disappear. You know, they even refer to it as that. He's been disappeared. Yeah, gone. It's for real, guys. Why do we give all this? Why do we give millions of barrels of oil from the strategic reserves to China? Joe Biden being friendly, all of that. It's all smoke and mirrors, the whole bullshit, Ukraine, everything. I could go on for so much, and it's all there. I keep telling you, UN is probably the quickest, biggest source of information to prove out what I'm telling you that there is. If you want, let me know if you can't find it and you want links, and next week I'll put links in. The younger guys in the group probably don't know that your chats are like the powwows we old timers used to have at the range. Knowledge is only powerful when it's shared. Exactly. It is, right? You go to the range and you're shooting, another guy shows up and you take a break and you're watching him. And, oh man, he's got one of those. So maybe you're ready to check your target, but he's still shooting. So you mosey down there. And, hey, what do you got there? Oh, you start talking. Hey, I want to change my target. So let me know when you're done. Oh, yeah, I'll be done in a second. Now you make the walk down. You're talking. By the time you get back, another guy pulled up. He hasn't even got his stuff out of the car yet. And you're talking. And 45 minutes later, nobody shot anything. But you're drinking coffee, talking, laughing. You know this guy, that guy. Yeah. And you're sharing stuff. And, you get a lot of people that stop in this chat, in this live stream, and bail right on out because, what are they talking about? They're not talking about guns there. Guys, I'm telling stories. I'm passing on things that I've learned over the years, that you don't hear every day or won't find in a book or whatever. I often thought about starting. I told you guys this before. Starting a channel called "What Gray-Haired Guys Know." Those little tips, secrets, and ways of doing things that you're only going to learn from sitting in the garage with your grandfather. And you go, how the hell did he get so smart? And how'd you figure that one out? Man, that just saved us a ton of time. Or, oh my God, he fixed it. I don't have to go get a new one. What gray-haired guys know? And the only way you're going to be a gray-haired guy that knows is by talking to one. Spend some time with your father, your grandfather, any old guy that's willing to share information with you, because it's the best information and it's not written down anywhere, and it's got to be passed on. I just try to do the best I can, and some of it's stupid stuff. It's just funny, whatever. But I hope I get one or two things through that help somebody, that make them a little bit wiser, a little bit stronger, or maybe know where to go get the information if they need it. Those are the things we lose. We lose it through fatherless families that can't pass it on. And a lot of that's by design too, guys. We know that. I'm preaching to the choir. Most of you guys know all this. You're smart. But just make sure we get it out there and impress upon you how important it is. Hello, Pillbox. So glad you're here. Love your AR-15s, America. Oops, wrong crowd. No, it's okay, man. We're a AR. We love it all. There may be some groups out there that, oh, it's only AKs. No. We like it all. I love my ARs. Sometimes I love them more than my AKs. I really do. They're magnificent weapons, in a lot of ways better than the AK. Oh, did he say that? Oh my God. Yeah, ARs are great. They really are. Sorry, dudes. I remember full auto Uzi, 9mm Israel surplus junk even back then. I sure miss those days. Full auto Uzi, 9mm Israeli he's saying America. So I wonder, are you from Israel? Is that it? Man, I wish we had Israeli full auto surplus. That'd be cool. Full auto anything be cool. That didn't cost $80 million. You will be poor and you will be happy. Absolutely. You will own nothing and be happy. Pillbox and Ross and everybody saying howdy. Surreal as we watch 1984 live and South Park becoming documentaries. You're right, man. Isn't it crazy? I read 1980. Well, no, trying to think if I read it at my good old Catholic Jesuit high school. Yeah. Everybody's been saying that's going to happen one day. It is. Blind Rocket drug and crank through his Go catalog once. Damn thing weighed 12 pounds, I bet. Yeah, I'll bet you mine's close. Read Creature from Jekyll Island. Somebody else told me about that book just the other day. Who the hell was it? It doesn't have something to do with economy, gold, silver, that kind of stuff. Exactly as you and Orion is speaking here. Yep. Guys, I hate to give economic advice, but it's no different than even most brokers will tell you. Some will tell you, well, what do you want gold and silver for? That's a fool's game, this and that. Mine told me, he said, oh, well, if you want to get into gold and silver, let's get in and buy some mining stocks. It goes up just like when gold goes up, so does the mining stock. A lot of people that lost everything buying mining stocks when the mine went bankrupt. Um, Here, any good broker that has your best interest at heart will tell you, sure, you should own some silver and gold. They'll usually recommend about 10%, right? And it's not there as an investment. Don't plan to make money on it. Don't look at it like, oh, it's up 10%. Woohoo! You know, and we're going to sell and then we're going to buy. And don't look at it as a way to make money. It is not. If that's what you're looking for, the only way to do it is if you're trading it on the floor. Okay. It is not an investment vehicle. It is merely a store of wealth. This is the ability to store true wealth, because in a crash, in a downturn, in anything, inflation, guys, if you had $100 a year ago, it's now worth 6 to 8% less, period. And it's not coming back. And inflation, just because the inflation rate goes down, that means it's not accelerating any faster. But once it accelerates and the dollar loses that value, it ain't coming back. They say that there's 3% of the buying power left in the dollar as there was in, I think it was, they said, since Nixon took us off the gold standard. So that was what, 70, early 70s, maybe, let's say even late 60s, who cares? Since he took us off, there's only 3% value left in a dollar, meaning a dollar bought you a dollar bought you 100 gumballs back then. It now buys you 3 gumballs. Your dollar is worth 3 cents compared to when it went off the gold standard. 3 cents. That's all that's left. It only has 67% of its value since the year 2020. Think about that. I'm in a gas station and I look, and a bag of candy is $7. There was something else rudimentary like that. It might have been something like a little pack of donuts or something. $7. What is going on, right? It's inflation. It's stolen the value out of it. All the moves, the crashes, 07, 08, the housing bubble, the tech bubble, the mortgage bubble, the this, the that. That's all been the manipulation by the Fed, by the government, to maneuver that dollar to keep it afloat, right? Because after all, people used to say, well, when inflation goes up, gold goes way up, right? Well, it doesn't do that. Watch. When inflation goes sky high, gold doesn't move anymore. Silver doesn't move. Why? Because it's manipulated. They trade it on paper. They estimate that, and don't hold me, I don't know the exact numbers, but let's just suffice to say that the actual real silver in the world, and keep in mind, silver is being used every day. It's gone. It's dissipated every day. Medical use, electronic use. It's even sewn into clothing now. When those clothes wear out, it's gone. So it's diminishing, right? Sure, they're mining more, but right now it costs more to mine silver than spot price is. So tell me, you own a mine, you're mining silver. You're spending money to get it out of the ground. When you get out of the ground, you've lost money. Why would you do it? That's God's honest truth. You wouldn't. That's the bottom line. Let's say, I forget the number, but all the silver ever mined over all the years, they trade something like 1,000,000 times the ounces every day on the stock exchange. So if they all called in that they want to take possession of their physical silver, there isn't enough. So they have to hide the fact. That's what happened when they tried to corner the market on silver back in the 80s, those two brothers. It wasn't because they made them out because there was no internet back then and everything, made them out to be thieves, liars, all this stuff, right? No, they were trying to prove that it was all a sham. There is not enough of this to fill those contracts. Do you know if you hold only 300 ounces of silver, that you are one of the top 1% holders of precious metal? Only 300 ounces. 300 times 25, $25, little added on top premium. But that's all you'd have to spend to go be in the 1% holding silver. So where would that put you when the dollar goes to shit? You'd do pretty good, wouldn't you? Any good broker will tell you, you want to hold silver, gold, you probably should. It's not an investment, it's a store of wealth or a hedge on your other investments. And you should have about 10% is what they say. So if you've got 100,000 saved, you better have 10,000 in physical gold or silver. I think you should have more than that. I think you should have as much as you can put aside. Why? Because it's never, you're not going to lose money on it. Sure, the market may go down in manipulation again. But when we've lost 8% this year in inflation, this is one of the rare years where I think it's actually showing what's truly happening. And right now, I'm up 30%. 30% on that. If it really got bad, this will be worth, God knows, 7, 8, 10, 20, 30 times what it is now. In gold, God only knows. Because there is a finite supply, and for millions of years, thousands of years, it's been the one thing that's always been. Well, the government will just take it. In 1933, when they recalled all the gold and silver, said it was illegal for Americans to own it. Actually, in reality, very few people turned it in. And they didn't seize it. It was voluntary. Okay? If you do a little research on that, and if you're really worried about it, there's ways and products made of this that you can own that they, by law, can't take. Things differ slightly if there's a value placed on it, like a currency value, or if it's generic, or if it's from one country versus another. It's all good. Don't even worry about it. Just buy and forget about eagles. Like, oh, got to have eagles. Those are more recognized, easier to get rid of, this and that. No. Buy the cheapest per ounce you can find. Because at the end of the day, it's been shown when silver shot up to $50, nobody gave a shit whether it was an eagle or a bullion-based coin from wherever, or minted here or there, or some mint you never heard of. Nobody cared. It was all $50 an ounce, and they were trying to buy as much as they could. Premium went out the window. So your eagle that you paid 40% premium on is not going to be worth anything more than what any other ounce of silver is worth. It's all about weight. If you own eagles now, they're high. Sell them off, replace it with weight. I just did it today. Yep. Quick, big profit. Not profit. I added a lot of weight today. Put it that way. A lot of weight. I traded, let's say you traded in 100 ounces in silver eagles. I got back way more than 100 ounces when I traded to this other form of silver. Gold is good too. If you can afford gold, buy gold. Absolutely. Maybe a 50-50 split, 60-40, whatever. Some people say silver will go up higher. I don't know. Gold to me, Uh, Governments of the world have bought more gold this year or last year than in any other year in history. They're stockpiling it. China, you name it, every country you can think of. Why? Ask yourself why. Um, yeah. If you want me to do something on silver where I got all the numbers laid out for you and all, I have the facts. I just can't remember all the numbers. I got to write it out. But we can do a whole thing on precious metals if you like. But and don't worry about price when you're buying. If you decide that you're buying today, next week, 3 Thursdays from now, whatever it is, don't even look at the price. Doesn't matter if it's high, low, this, that, just buy. And then next time you got money, buy again, buy again. Cost averaging. At the end of the day, it's not there, again, to look at as an investment to save, to make money. It's there as a bailout fund. And God willing, I pray that I never have to use any of this. I hope I pass it to my kids, to my grandkids, to their kids, and again and again. I'm not afraid of all this for me, guys. I really don't care. I've done my job in this world. I worry about my children and my grandchildren. That's all I care about in this world. I don't want them to have to struggle to work. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I don't want them to experience horrendous things. I want them to live way better than I've allowed them to live, which is pretty damn good. I want them to blow me out of the water. That's what I want. And I'm really scared that that's not going to happen. I'm really, really, I hope something happens and this ship turns. But man, I'm a very skeptical person, and I've never felt like I have now. I can feel it. Anyhow, please pray I'm wrong. Tonight when you go to bed, go, please pray that the rock is wrong. Because I pray it every night. I really do, but I can't ignore what I see here and common sense. I just can't. Find a good local coin shop or someplace that sells bullion. Local, usually better, cheaper. I buy from a big place online. Sometimes I pay more, but at the end of the day, it's easy. It's safe. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm not worried about a dollar or two here and there. I'm worried. It's all for down the road. If stuff went down and this just kept me where I am today, I'm ecstatic. I'm super happy. That's all it's there for, is to preserve what I do have. If it went nuts, great, wonderful. But I just wanted to preserve what I have today. Don't want to go backwards. Worked way too hard for what I have. Nobody ever gave me anything. And I worked for what I have. And my wife's worked for what we have. And I've raised hardworking kids. And that's all I want. That's all we do, right? Our piece of the pie that everybody deserves and that no one should be able to take from you just because they feel the need for greed and power. Sorry, that don't compute. I don't think it computes for any true American, does it? Nope, that's why this country is what it is. Not because of the leaders or how it was governed or anything like that, but surely for the will of the people and our gumption and where we've all come from. We were all immigrants. Nobody was born here. Well, a few are. And we're proud of those people too. But we did what other places on this world couldn't do. And we spread it, give it away, gift it, in the hopes to help them. We're the most giving country on the planet. Giving people, forget about country, giving people on the planet. We take care of the rest of the world a lot of times, most of it, right? We open our houses, our homes, our churches, our pockets, our wallets. We don't need government to do it for us. It's called charity, and churches and neighborhoods and neighbors have been doing it for a couple hundred years and will continue to do it. We don't need it done for us. Don't need them to sign another few billion or trillion over to the biggest criminal on the face of the planet running that country over there. It's merely a pass through for the criminals here. They redirect it there and it goes right back here. And they give him pennies on the dollar at the end of the day. It's one ginormous theft ring. Bank on that one too. Anyhow, yeah. The only time they do start wars is why? When you got economic problems, go start a good war. It'll boost things right back up. Fire up that war machine, baby. It'll make you money every time. Economy gets good. Every house with a 100-inch flat screen on the wall and an Xbox and the latest cell phone and a pizza delivered to your door. Everybody's happy. Nobody pays attention. That's all I got to say, guys. Come join us. Check out our videos this week. I'm going to bring you that super lightweight 8K. Hey, the FFL is coming sooner. Things are moving down the path, and we'll get there. Just make sure you pay attention to what's going on around you. They think that everybody's sleeping, that nobody sees it. Don't be one of those people. I love you guys. Thanks for staying. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for the support when I'm down and I think this is a giant waste of time. You guys come in and somebody will leave a comment that makes me push a little harder, a little longer. That's all. So thanks for everything. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out.